Good morning. Welcome to the program today. Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere that may be impacted by this massive mega storm coming tonight. Are you prepared? My name is BrianEngelman. Today is Friday, January 23rd, 2025, and this right here, the thing that you have found, is called the TNAM Daily Show. TNAM, what does that stand for? Well, instead of snapping here to show you the new American media, I could go like this and show you the new American media. Because the old American media has failed you. In fact, they haven't failed. They've done exactly what they were intended to do, which was mislead you, guide you, shape reality so that they can win, so that you will lose, so that they get their way and you might get some scraps on the backside. That's the way that this system has been set up, isn't it? Sorta, kinda. It's also a system that you're able to understand and navigate and succeed within. But it seems like our schooling systems, our public indoctrination camps, all they want to tell people is how bad things are. Now, that doesn't make a lick of sense, does it? I don't think so. By the way, I find it very strange that I'm not getting any of my comments in chat. So let me do this. I'm going to hit the refresh button. Feed should be okay. A temporary glitch for a second. Let's see if these comments could... Oh, no, okay. It looks like maybe now it's beginning with Kenneth. TNAM and thank you meme. Okay. Marion, Lake Leon, Trash Panda, Texas. Hello, everybody. I want to know, how are we doing? Are we prepared for the storm? Is the storm set to impact you? I believe Texas is going to get hit. I believe a vast swath of the Midwest is going to be hit. And it's not just a storm and you're going to get some snow. It's going to be a foot of snow and then everything is going to ice. And so transportation is not going to be great for a little while. Like, it's not going to be good at all kind of situation. So we'll discuss that, as well as the Olympian drug Kingpin, who has been busted. This is breaking news. We're going to tell you about it since the Olympics are coming up. And we run a sports show over here. It's called The Unhappy Hour. Are you subscribed to our YouTube channel? Just out of solidarity, even if you're not a big sports fan. It's called The Unhappy Hour Sports Show. That's here on the New American Media. We also have Strictly Football here on the New American Media, a division of the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. But we do sports. We're going to cover the Olympics to some degree. We have pins and coasters. If you want some merch, shoot me a Venmo along with your address. Pins are $25, shipping included. 4 Ohio-made wooden coasters are $30 a piece, or 2 for $50. Just tell me circle or Ohio shaped, along with your address on Venmo, and I'll send those out. And these coasters are great to set your TNAM mug upon. The New American Media. The mug is black and white and red all over, like the newspaper used to be. Mugs are $40. Shoot me a Venmo. That includes $10 of continental U.S. shipping and handling to you. What are you sipping on today? You got a wonderful warm beverage on this chilly day. I mean, it's dropping to 0. So there's a lot going on right now. It's time to get prepared. It's time to check out what's going on in the news. Marion says they're expecting ice, no snow, just rain, then ice. Yeah, it's going to be like a flash icing, and it's going to cause a lot of problems. So go get some stuff. Weather warfare? Absolutely could be. You remember our documentary, Hurricane Helene, Help on the Way? By the way, thank you to all of the regulars who show up here and wanted to support our effort to make a donation run. Thank you to Lowe's. Thank you to Advance Auto Parts. Thank you to Dick's Sporting Goods, who made donations of backpacks and tools and gloves and what is the word I'm looking for? Like heavy-duty cleaners, because you had to deal with the mold. You had to clean everything. Not antibacterial. What is the phrase I'm looking for? Not astringent. I mean, DEP, DEP, DAP. Jugs and disinfectant. I guess jugs of disinfectant, I suppose, is what they were. We made that donation run down there to tour the carnage. Thanks in part to Grizzly, with a Grizzly tattoo down there in Southern Virginia, took us on a tour of 3 states and all the carnage while we made donation runs, stops along the way. Your donations made that possible because we were able to put cash into the hand of the person who was spending all of that gasoline to get there, just helping him break even on the effort to be the hub that would collect all the materials and then go to all of these churches to distribute these things so that the truckers and the people on ATVs and the churches, the people in their cars, everybody could take some stuff that's needed and go take it to the people that need the stuff. I mean, generators and chainsaws, there's so much that was needed. But your donations were fantastic. You guys were able to help cover their expenses, buy meals, cover the gasoline, it was crucial. Like you guys are awesome. The giving spirit. But we got to see that. And by the way, the giving spirit, it's some of you regulars, and it was some people that I haven't talked to in years, people I used to work with, but I haven't seen in years. People kind of out of the clear blue sky wanted to send some donations over. And so we made that work. We made that work for people. But we wanted to show you the catastrophe of just how brutal Mother Nature can be. Was that weather warfare? How would we know? Oh, that's crazy that you'd even say such a thing. It's crazy that you wouldn't consider such a thing. I'm not allowing the reframing of language anymore. I'm not allowing it in my life. I just won't. I refuse. I will not accept these terms. The time is now to reclaim our language. They're not undocumented migrants. They're illegal alien invaders. And if there's a whole bunch of good people there, you've had a year to use the CBP Home app. You're not here legally. You know it. Get in line the right way and walk through the front door. You've had a year to go home. And if you haven't gone home in a year, what type of nefarious purpose could you be here? I had a guest on yesterday. We discussed, the reason why people are here. Let me just say, we don't know the reason why people are here. And until we document everybody who snuck in while the razor wire gates were lifted, we got a problem. We got a flashing red light of a problem. And it's either important or it's not. And we covered these topics on yesterday's program. So once again, now that the show has been about a day old, the show was published. Dan Johnson and Ford Fisher joined the program to discuss ICE. Type in the comments section, question of the day. Now that a day has elapsed, what stuck with you from our conversation yesterday? Type it in the comments section on Rumble. Type it in the comments section on YouTube. I'd like to get to that when we officially launch the show. Curious, what stuck with you from that conversation? There's things I wanted to say, but I didn't say. Things I almost said, but didn't say. Was any common ground made? Is there no common ground if the person you're talking to doesn't believe it's a big deal that 40 million people snuck into the country? And I use the analogy of 2 things. Number 1, if people sneak into the back door of a nightclub, lights on, hey, we got a security breach. Everybody with the wristband to this room, everybody without, go to that room. It's a little easier to do when it's a nightclub. Or you just say, you guys could have been handing your wristbands to people who are underage and then claiming, I don't know, it must have fallen off, or I never got one. Look, I'm of age, but you handed your ID to someone else. You go, all right, instead of green neon wristbands, those are all null and void. Everybody out that door, walk around the front. Everybody's getting ID'd a second time. And it's now purple wristbands. All that's void. Now, I don't want to usher in a digital ID to replace our ID to prove citizenship and eligibility to even be in the country per se. I would be in favor of a new driver's license that confirms citizenship eligibility. Stop it there. No Palantir, no digital ID tracking our social credit scores and our banking linked up in some cryptocurrency hellscape. No thanks. Just a new ID that's bordered. Every state license must now be bordered with the red, white, and blue. Old versions are invalid. You have 30 days to run up to the corner and get one. They will literally print you one if you can prove who you are. Just let's everybody do this. And if you don't have one, you got to go. You don't have the purple wristband, you got to go. It's not super easy to do in a country. And our guest yesterday, Dan, kind of laid out one of his proposals, and one of the things he would like to see is, if you can reasonably suspect that somebody's committed a crime, then investigate said crime and then go through the process of trying to remove that person. Problem is, it's also like Columbine. It's also like Sandy Hook. There are flashing red lights, active shooter alerts have gone off, and people are running out of the gymnasium, and they're telling them, hands on your head, everybody line up. We don't know who's who. Are you a shooter? Are you a victim? We don't know who's who, and you're all here at once. Everybody up against the wall. Oh my God, I can't believe you'd be in favor of saying papers, please, like the literal Gestapo of the literal 30s of literal Germany. What do you do when there's an active shooter situation? Ask Lake and Riley's parents if the illegal alien who they knew should have never been here, ask that family. Was it life and death urgent, just like somebody at a school? Someone's going around, multiple people are going around, snuffing out Americans. There are sleeper cells and Manchurian candidates positioned across the country. How do we know? Look at the reports. Look at the reports of the Chinese military-aged men, the battalions who were on. I listened to John B. Wells do this, 2 years ago now? The reports coming in off the border. There are safe houses moving. We've been infiltrated. We've been infiltrated, invaded, in active war from what many consider to be an absolutely illegitimate government that seized control in a hostile coup in 2020. You might think that Joe Biden totally got 81 million absolutely legitimate votes, and he totally had every right to lift the razor wire and let a steady stream of 40 million people just sneak in. Remember at a time of COVID where if you don't take this thing, you can't serve in the military, you can't work in government, you're going to lose your job, you'll get tear gassed in Minneapolis or Minnesota that we saw during the Tim Walz era, sitting on your front porch. You're not allowed to be on your front porch. You saw the tyranny of the Democrats then because COVID was so important. Wait, but 40 million illegal aliens, nobody getting screened, nobody getting vaxxed, nobody getting tested, no masks. They're good to go. Flashing fucking red lights. Either you see this as a problem and an invasion, and we have a commander-in-chief who is in charge of our military in a time of war because we've just been invaded, or, I heard a response yesterday that shocked me. Well, it's illegal aliens don't commit crimes at a higher level than Americans. Huh? Excuse me? Any crime committed by a known scumbag dirtball, kid abuser, woman abuser, murderer, we know what we're talking about. Gang member, really, assault and lots of violence in the criminal past. Every single crime committed by somebody who should have been filtered out on the way in is 100% preventable and 100% unacceptable. So to say something like it's not a big deal, it's not that big a deal, it's not that urgent. I just don't see it's that urgent. You don't. Either you're not paying attention, or your judgment is off, or there's a financial incentive for you to say so. Is what I would say. If there's other options on the table, I'll listen. I don't know. I tried to listen, at least for the first half of the show yesterday. And then I had to start jumping in a little bit because I had some additional places to drill down on the conversation. We don't want to live in a society of All right, let me start that sentence over. Civil liberties need to be protected. I think one of the most important civil liberties is to not get invaded by an illegitimate party. I don't consider the Democrats to be a viable political party. I consider them to be a domestic terrorist organization, as witnessed. Maybe what you're seeing with a protracted, ongoing, well-funded, completely astroturfed efforts to block ICE from doing their damn job, to kick the people out that shouldn't be here. You're opposing that? So you're not on America's side then, are you? Why? Well, we got to protect our civil liberties. We have the right to not get invaded. Start there. Well, I mean, what do you mean? What? I found yesterday's chat to be a lot of things. Yeah. So please type in the comments. Let me just stop. I'm going to get to today's program. I want to know what steps you've taken to prepare for this storm. Type it in the comments on YouTube, on Rumble, however you're watching. By the way, hit the thumbs up button, hit like, hit subscribe. I want you to text this show to a friend, please. Tell people that we're here and consider subscribing to us. So type in the comments anything you've done to level up a little bit or prepare for this ice storm. It's not so much that a foot of snow is going to ruin it's everything's going to ice over. Commuting is going to be an absolute mess. Stores shelves are going to be empty. Power could go out with iced lines or iced limbs falling and snapping apart. Do you have a backup plan for a generator? Have you secured your house up? I've been doing insulating the past couple of days. In fact, that might be why I was a couple minutes tardy today. Did President Trump say I'm allowed to say that word yet? I was a little late to class. Teacher was late to class. Trying to seal the house up, wondering, well, what if the power goes out? Are we ready? Do we have some sort of generator? Are we stocked up on food? Like there's a laundry list that goes through your head. So type in the comments how you feel about that. Additionally, question of the day. What were you left with regarding our conversation yesterday? Was there a particular point that was made by me or by either Ford Fisher or Dan Johnson that stands out to you now? And in what way, like, did you think of a reaction to that? Did you have a response to something they said or something I said, something you thought about when, they made a good point or, screw that point. I can't believe they said such a thing. Curious to hear what you think. I tried to be as respectful as possible while I was as bewildered as a human could be. To hear Dan say that he's more concerned about his daughters being snatched up from the front yard playing by the Gestapo because we've lost our civil liberties than prioritizing the dangerous security breach of our nation. On top of it, that our democracy has been stolen because illegal aliens with no voting rights are artificially boosting blue cities and blue states to the point where they're close to having uniparty complete dominance and control over this country to push us off the cliff into Marxism, to push us off the cliff into totalitarianism, where there will be no dissent. The cities, the big blue cities, we're going to mail out enough votes to make sure it happens. We'll find a way. By the way, don't pay attention to the fact that the post office endorsed one of the candidates last time. Hey, we're going to deliver millions and millions and millions and millions of ballots to the key locations and counties that could flip elections. Elections that President Trump was in charge of, was leading by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of votes. But then they all sort of paused, 4 or 5 or 6 of them at the same time. Remember that? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Do you know what I'm about to say? Type in the comments, QOTD. Do you know what this hand signal means? Do you know what I'm about to say? For countervailing views on health and elections, go to cdc.gov, who.int, or cisa.gov/rumor control. Go get your countervailing views. Because the last administration, Jack Smith, Mayorkas, Kamala Harris, our borders are totally not a DEI hire that Joe Biden said, I'm going to pick a woman of color for my vice president, instead of saying I'm going to pick the most qualified person to be vice president. Remember Kamala Harris, our borders are? that didn't protect and defend the border, intentionally letting people through? Remember that? I remember that. Jack Smith. He's on Capitol Hill getting grilled. Are indictments coming? They're very overdue, and we are so sick of waiting. But there is a truth. Two things can be true at once. Multiple things can be true at once. I can be concerned about civil liberties. And you can point to any particular case. Can you believe they shot Renee Good? Well, I can believe that somebody who got hit by a car would shoot in self-defense. Yes, I can. Can you believe that someone was told it was a good idea to impede the federal investigation? I think that's a horrible idea. Horrible advice. Can you believe they took a 5-year-old, they used him as bait, and then they left him out in the cold, and then they 5-year-old, and then don't tell me they're getting the worst of the worst. They're just getting 5-year-olds, and they're just like a Gestapo. We're going to cover that story because in real time, I believe Dan brought it up yesterday and said, that's been debunked, right? Hasn't that been? I brought up, wait a minute. The blue cities are not handing over their people. Dan said, wait, no, they are. It's just ICE isn't getting them. ICE doesn't seem to care. ICE isn't doing their job. I go, that doesn't make any sense. That's not accurate. Where are you getting your information? We tried to start the show yesterday with the Scott Adams paraphrasing of Norm Macdonald, who said, problem we have in the world today is that a lot of people think what you're seeing is good versus evil. The cynic will say it's evil versus evil. But in reality, what we have is good versus good, where we're looking at the world through our own frame. And maybe if we had the same information, we'd reach the same conclusions. But we're seeing two movies on the same screen. Two movies on the same screen. Dan's looking at ICE in Minneapolis with what I told him directly. I've scanned your pages, or your Facebook profile in particular. I haven't seen a single post appreciative of rounding up these thousands of dirtbags. All I see are critiques and complaints and criticisms. How would you like to do this better? How would you like to go about rounding up every single person that snuck in? I believe when we got to a response, it was, I don't see it as that big of a problem. So that's a non-starter. Doesn't matter what movie we're watching. Come to the fork in the road. It's either a problem or not a problem. It's a problem. I don't know how we reconcile that under the guise of maybe not the Libertarian Party, but I have libertarian credentials that are pristine, and it's worth 99 guilty people going free if it means that it prevents one innocent person from being falsely accused. Do you say the same if there's a school shooter? You let them go? You don't line everybody up and check who they are. You don't pat every one of them down, temporarily detain them to get a handle on what's happened here. What is the plan to identify all the illegal alien invaders? Defund ICE, get rid of ICE, have no borders, can't have borders. I don't know. I'm not representing any of these as Dan's opinions. I'm trying to be as fair as possible. His words speak for his words. I'm trying to. At one point, he said something. I said, what, you want more lawyers? He flipped out. Oh, my God, he said lawyers. I didn't say lawyers. Why are you putting words in my mouth? The lawyers. I didn't say lawyers. Judges, lawyers, the whole legal apparatus. What? Okay, we're getting hung up on one phraseology. You said judges. I said lawyers because what? You just want judges with nobody representing the one side and nobody representing the other side? You just want kings to rule, have their fuzzy hair, have their curly hair? I don't know. I think he was getting frustrated at that point that I was cutting him off. I gave him pretty doggone excellent free reign to have pseudo unlimited time to make his points. And then when time started constricting, I started moving it up. The tennis game got a little quicker. I moved up to the net. So yeah, I talked over him a couple times. Everybody talks over everybody. It happens from time to time. Especially when you're dealing with the show and you're trying to coordinate and juggle as many things over here. You'll have a little bit of that. Yeah, he said, we need more judges. I'm like, judges? Why do we need more judges? There's people here who have had a year to leave the country. They know they don't have a ticket to this movie theater. They know they don't have a ticket. They've been told for a year. If you're here and not a citizen, use the CBP Home app. We'll give you $1,000 and get you a flight. And you won't be banned from coming back. But if you stay, you're banned from coming back. After a year of telling people to leave, isn't it a reasonable assumption that they have malicious intention? Well, it's at least possible that they may have malicious intent because they're staying covert, hidden, secret. For what purpose? Either we have a right to know or we don't. And we reached an impasse on yesterday's conversation that was incredibly frustrating to me, perhaps to Dan. He asked if he thought that, he thanked me for the conversation, and I thanked him. I'll thank him now for the conversation. Ford was just there to kind of talk about what he's seen. But even in Ford's kind of trying to stay neutral, it was a little bit of, well, what about this case? You saw this. Do you support that? And Dan was like, well, what about this? Can you believe they did that? Do you support that? I go, I don't know. If something wrong happened there, I'm absolutely in favor of leveling up the procedure to speed it up and get everybody identified. I don't know. I'm not here to defend that case. Do you defend Lake and Riley's killer? Like, what are we doing with Well, what about that? So what's your point? If we don't buy into that, if we don't, that's so sympathetic. That Nicole Good, she's so sympathetic. I can't believe she was shot after spinning her tires out on a sheet of ice and hitting an ICE agent at full speed, pedal to the metal. Can you believe she got shot? Yes, I can. And I don't want to see it the first place. I don't want to see it again. So stop doing what you're doing. Stop breaking the law, asshole. It's the liar, liar line where he's just yelling into it. I played that briefly yesterday. I do appreciate the conversation, but I believe Dan was asking, do we think any common ground was made? I go, I don't know. Let me pose that to you. Now, why has this happened 3 times? Why is this feed not working? Is Rumble not working? I've pulled this up 3 times and it keeps going off on my monitor. I'm going to type test. Please make sure you're following us on Rumble and please hit test to make sure you saw that. To help me, not to make sure, so that I can see that you saw that. I've queued up a YouTube feed so we can keep track comments. I got a Rumble feed over here. And I've pulled it up 3 times and I'm talking to you and the screen goes blank. Why is the damn screen going blank? Bob France today, I've stepped aside from pseudo producer on his channel to get his show up and running. But I guess he had 2 guests that couldn't get in today. So there might be a glitch in the system somewhere. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Test, 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Mighty Trash Pandas. Okay, now let's see if it stays up. That'll be the test. Is it going to remain after this plays? But our nation is being stolen. We are being robbed, absolutely blind by the nonprofits and the NGOs. And that's what Dan does. He works with NGOs and he talks on his Facebook posts about. I get a lot of my clients from my Facebook posts, and all I see is bitter anger. One of the posts said something along the lines of, all I feel is rage. And it's this essay. It's an essay about ICE and border enforcement and American sovereignty. And he's enraged by seeing us try to clean up the mess that Joe Biden created. I don't feel rage. I wish they'd do more. I wish we could come up with better ways to keep more innocent people from being harmed and to identify every sneaky son of a bitch that broke into this nation. You had a friend prop open the back door to the movie theater. The movie theater's sold out. There's 100 people waiting. They have tickets. They can't sit in the seat. You're there. You're in here somewhere. The lights are low. We can't see the seats. Row 17, is that row 8? Is it 8 from that way or 8 from this way? They've taken deceptive maneuvers to take the seat numbers off and you can't really see what's going on. What are you supposed to do? Nothing. They win. Or something. So I find this whole conversation incredibly frustrating, disappointing, confusing. But in the true spirit of the Agree to Disagree show, I try to be mostly civil, to hear his side out. But he gets a lot of his clients by promoting anti-ICE essays and helping clients get funding for nonprofit organizations. It's nonprofits, non-governmental organizations funneling money to groups that are being created to multiply that message of, I don't have solutions of how to do this. In fact, maybe we shouldn't even do it. It's not that important. And we need to be outraged at what ICE is doing. They're violating our civil liberties. Orange man bad, all the sorts of bad stuff. Trump bad, MAGA bad, ICE bad, stop it all. The invasion wins. The invaders win. Let it happen. It would be unfair to say those are his words. It would be more fair to say, we need more judges to try more cases. Okay, fine. I said, fine, let's turn the dial there, put more energy there. Got it. I won't disagree with that. Okay. But how do you get all the rest of the people that snuck in? How do you get them? I don't see it that big of a deal. I don't think it's that. Don't you find this to be an incredibly urgent flashing red light situation? No. Holy shit. What? Is it because the funding mechanism of the nonprofits feasts upon that invader energy, the anti-American invader energy? Is it 40 pieces of silver? If you're doing well personally, is it worth selling out your country? That's what everybody's asking in Congress. Why aren't you passing the SAVE Act to make sure that the proper people are voting? Why aren't you passing the SAVE Act? Oh, filibuster and nuclear option and what is it, zombie filibusters, and what's the other one? They're finagling right now. Anna Paulina Luna says she's going to shut it all down until they get the SAVE Act done. Like, this is not sustainable. And you're looking at the people in the Senate. You're looking at the fake representatives in the House of Representatives, because a lot of these numbers have been boosted by illegal alien invaders who have no business being here, should have never been counted on the census. Every one of these deep blue cities hemorrhaged citizens during the COVID tyranny of the deep state Democrats. Hemorrhaged because they're tyrants. We fled. I fled. And so to maintain that artificial power in our Congress to block the MAGA agenda, to put some fucking sanity back into our lives, you have senators and House of Representatives members, Ilhan Omar, the squad, and a whole ton of rhinos who don't want to do the right thing. And you have to ask, for what reason? Jacob Frey, why aren't you doing anything that makes sense? Tim Waltz, how much have you been paid to sell out your countrymen? It's not necessarily a critique I'm levying at Dan per se, but when your funding comes from nonprofit organizations, and now you're saying it's not a big deal that we've been invaded to the tunes of tens of millions, if the money's coming from you saying it's not a big deal, and you want to rage bait people with your long essays about how what you feel is rage, can those dots be connected? Now, I didn't go there talking to him. I didn't know how productive that would have been. I didn't feel that was the time to bring that up. I've said that to Ford privately, because that's not really something I want to say publicly. I'm saying it to you now because I don't understand how an intelligent person could reach such a vastly different conclusion. We all have questions. We don't have questions of Dan. We have questions of anybody who's missing the point on this. Anybody in the House of Representatives, anybody in Congress, that whole last bullshit administration. Why on God's green earth would you do that? Well, you've almost permanently taken over the United States. A hostile takeover, a coup, a full coup, insurmountable. You either defend America or you lose America. I don't know why Dan is reaching different conclusions. I suspect Ford is as well. I mean, let all of their words speak for them yesterday. Shit, he said something about judges. I said, what are lawyers going to do? I didn't say anything about lawyers. Why are you putting words in my mouth? Lawyers. I meant judges. Whatever, judges. Don't you have to have lawyers to have judges? It's not just tribunals. It's not just somebody in a wig. Relax. I'm not trying to misrepresent anything you're saying. I'm really not. And if a phrase is slightly out of context, please refer back to the original source. That's what Ford is with News to Share. Make sure you follow him at news, the number 2 share, what N2S reports on X, and at Ford Fischer, Fischer. I've just had a lot of these thoughts in my mind. I wanted to be productive. I wanted to be professional. I wanted to be cordial. I wanted to be polite. He's trying to create more nonprofits to block ICE because it shouldn't be happening. I don't like that. Maybe if we do a second conversation, I'll get into a little bit more pointed commentary on that. Maybe yesterday was just more trying to let him talk and understand. Yeah, he snapped back when I interrupted him once. But the goal was really to just hear what they had to say. Dan especially. Ford volunteered to be kind of like a referee. I'm like, no, I don't want this to be like, I don't want it to be billed like a heavyweight battle. Engelman versus Johnson. He totally owned the libs. He totally owned the deep state or whatever. Dan would probably call me deep state because I want to know who snuck in. If someone broke into your house, I'd like to know who snuck in. Fascist. It's not fascistic. It's common sense. Who broke in? People break into the Target. I want to know who broke in. Like, it's a security breach. This is way worse. Americans are losing lives, and we are being robbed blind. We may have lost the state of Minneapolis, or the state of Minnesota. 2% of our 50 states might have been conquered by foreign influence, by the Democrat Party. They don't care. They'll burn it all down if they can rule over the ashes. I'm full of disdain over this. So I don't know if there's a gray area or it's just a white and black issue, black and white issue. We should not have any immigration or customs enforcement. You saw how we overreacted on 9/11, huh? What do you do when you're attacked? What do you do with your commander-in-chief in a time of war? I can't believe you would have sent the Chinese to Manzanar in the Trail of Tears in the what did they call it? Internment camps. I want every illegal alien invader identified. I don't want to see any Nicole Good situations. I don't want anyone attacking an ICE officer that then results in a self-defense scenario that takes a life. Totally justified, by the way. And we need to normalize common sense. No, we're not going to hold a trial for this. It's obvious what happened here. Running Kyle Rittenhouse and Daniel Penny. Go down the laundry list of people. The McCluskeys, I think that was their name in Missouri. No, you shouldn't have your life ruined if you have to use self-defense. It's actually protecting the civil liberties of Americans by not charging the ICE agent who was hit and fired in self-defense. 4,600-pound vehicle at full speed. Pedal to the metal. Boom. Pop, pop, pop. It all happened that quick. And to see some analysis, well, the first shot was okay, but those 2 following shots, those are obviously murder and they must stand trial. Are you out of your fucking mind? And I think some of these people are out of their minds. I just don't get how we're seeing 2 different movies on the same screen. But it's in my effort to try to show different perspectives that we booked the guests we had yesterday to look at things differently. So I want to read your comments on yesterday's show. But first, let's do the official launch of today's program. In honor of Scott Adams, make sure we top off our warm beverage with this show intro coming up. I'd like to encourage all of you to join me now in a ceremonial simultaneous sip in honor of Scott Adams. May he rest in peace in his eternal soul and with the Lord Jesus Christ up there in heaven. See you in a little bit, buddy. If you'd like to participate in this simultaneous sip, all you need is a cup, a mug, or a glass, a tankard, chalice, or stein, a canteen, jug, or flask, a vessel of any kind. Fill it with your favorite liquid. I like coffee. And join me now for the unparalleled pleasure, the dopamine hit of the day, the thing that makes everything better. It's called the simultaneous sip, and it happens now. Go. Let's warm up our coffee cups. The TNAM Daily Show starts now.
guide to the truth. thenewamericanmedia.com.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Let's get the comments up on the screen here. Yes, yes, yes. Weather warfare. We shall see. Kenneth, you are not sipping on a gin and juice. Do you drink at all, Kenneth? I thought you've said before that you don't drink. I don't recall. Marion is having 2 cups of coffee, then hot mint chocolate. Hot mint chocolate. Hot chocolate with mint. Mint hot chocolate. Hot mint chocolate. Chocolate hot mint. Chocolate mint hot. Having a stroke. Kenneth, you're saying for the illegal alien invaders, line them up for the catapult? We got sleeper cells embedded here from foreign lands. This is an invasion. This is a diabolical regime that lifted the gates. You have to assume malicious intent from people that have had a year to use the CBP home app and have decided not to. Catapult, not yet. Catapult, maybe once you've been tried by a military tribunal or a jury of your peers and you've been found guilty of treason most foul. Yeah, I mean, the electric chair, or by hanging, or by firing squad, or maybe by catapult. I don't know. Quick reminder, we are now, let me pull it up now. As of this, there we go, switch it to this one. As of this moment, we are now at the 3rd best month on YouTube that we've had. We regained our faculties in September, and we're within striking distance of September with just a few more super chats. So just a reminder, it's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. On YouTube and on Rumble, you can sign up for a monthly subscription. Those are literal building blocks. Those are foundational blocks. Imagine like a flat Lego board, a flat Lego base. Every month, people sign up for either Patreon or Rumble or YouTube. Those are those rectangle building blocks that build the foundation of the TNAM house. We know what's coming in on a monthly basis. We can count on it. It's super appreciated. Every month we get business-related expenses, and those funds go to that. It's crucial. So thank you to everybody who's decided to become a monthly subscriber on Rumble, a monthly subscriber on YouTube. That shows up. It's automatic. Set it and forget it. Crucial. But those Rumble rants, once you set it up on there, you just type something and toss it in. Boom. A $5 donation, $10 donation, $20 donation, $50 donation, $100 donation. They all matter. But we are now in January with about a week to go, 8 days, I believe. We are now within striking distance of September, but still about half of our best month in December. So continue to consider tossing something in the Rumble rant or Super Chat bucket, as well as traditional donation sources as Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, all listed at the bottom of the screen. And yeah, thank you to our Patreon subscribers. At least please go sign up and become a free Patreon subscriber. And then, of course, please consider being a $10 monthly, $100 monthly, $1,000 monthly subscriber on Patreon, because those are big building blocks that help us build this house. Make sure that we can meet together every day, have good conversations, book good guests, include your comments and jokes and conversation and counterpoints. That's how we do it. But thank you for everyone who's helped us get that back under control. So let's see. I'll have to post to you on X. It would take too long on here, on the question of the day. Oh, like your thoughts on yesterday's show? Kenneth has a thought that after yesterday's program, perhaps Dan may be misled. Yeah, I remember at one point Dan said something along, and once again, if I say lawyer, but he said judge, I'm not trying to put words in his mouth. I'm not trying to frame him of saying something he didn't, okay? Just, that's not my intent ever. I might misspeak. Never trying to mislead. Never fucking ever. I just snap back at him and like, shut the fuck up. Like, All right, you said judge, I said lawyer. It's the whole apparatus of legality. Don't you need judges and lawyers? It can't just be a judge, more judges to get more people through the turnstiles. What do we need all these judges for anyway? We need everyone identified that snuck in. They all gots to go. And the sanctuary policies of these blue cities are harboring them, and they're getting violent with law enforcement to try to keep them because they've seized extra political power in our House of Representatives. Anyway, Kenneth says, perhaps Dan may have been misled. I feel as though he's very entrenched and he believes that he's correct here. Nightclub, can it be a strip club? I mean, right? Yesterday's show was not my favorite, as I don't understand how they think illegal is okay. Marion, did you get the impression that Ford was saying that he thought illegals being in America is okay? Very specific, and this is open to everybody, specifically, please. Did anyone watching get the impression that Ford was supporting illegal aliens in America being okay? Just to clarify, I don't know. Please type in the comments. Did you get the impression Ford was promoting the idea that being illegal in America is totally fine or okay? I don't know that I would say that I got that out of yesterday. Danette, hello, says real ID is that. You need to show your social and birth certificate. Yeah, we should know who we are. There's been so much fraud. Like, stop it. You don't get to pretend you're somebody else, stealing social security numbers and voting on dead social security numbers and voting in multiple states. Like, we need something that says you've gone through the system. You know? I guess real ID is fine. I carry my passport card. Okay. Shouldn't we? And no, if you can't pass an English proficiency test, you can't read and write the language, can't take a driver's test to prove it, you shouldn't be given a driver's license. You shouldn't be given ID cards if you're in the country illegally. You should get identification if you're here legally. If you walk through the front door and said, hi, I'd like to come in here for a while. I'd like to work. I'd like to hang out, maybe become a citizen. Whatever that process is, if you went through the front door, you should get an ID from the front door, people. Shouldn't be given to it by a rogue state that's trying to cede from the union, it seems, at war with the federal government, says Jacob Frey and Tim Waltz, paraphrasing, but yes, they're saying similar stuff. Marion says, you did great, but their thought process wore me out. Yeah, Dan's wore me out. What about Ford's thought process wore you out? Because I don't want to present both of them as monoliths. But I know Ford considers himself to be a primary source documentarian, but I've told him, I believe you to be more leftist sympathetic than you think you are. And he might think I'm a little bit more extreme on whatever side you would say my side is than I think I am. I think friends can say such things to each other. Colleagues, comrades, citizens, people of America, whatever you want to define us as. Guests of the program, friends of the show. You did great, but their thought process wore me out. Was there something about what Ford said or Ford did that wore you out? I get the Dan part. But thank you all for being here. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, right. Joe Biden got 81 million. I have some swampland in Arizona to sell you too. Well, you know the song by Maynard James Keenan. The lyrics that he wrote. Learn to swim. I'll see you down in Arizona Bay. Some say a comet will fall from the sky, followed by meteor showers and tidal waves, followed by fault lines that cannot sit still, followed by millions of dumbfounded dipshits. Some say the end is near. Some say we'll see Armageddon soon. I certainly hope we will. I sure could use a vacation from this bullshit three-ring circus sideshow of freaks who are in this hopeless fucking hole we call LA. The only way to fix it is to flush it all away any fucking time, any fucking day. Learn to swim. See you down in Arizona Bay. the earth is going to be rocked. California is going to sink underwater, and there will be an Arizona Bay. In that song called Anima, written by Maynard James Keenan. Like if the earth axis shifts and water sloshes into new places, spins on a different. But yeah, so some swampland in Arizona. Let's see. How are we preparing? Danette has got water and firewood and food. Can't insulate my house well. A tent for emergency to stack on the bed if needed for the boys. Kenneth left the show with a headache. I think everybody did. I was trying, man. Is there something? Question of the day as well. Type it in the comments. Is there something I should have done differently? Is there something I could have done differently? You wish I would have done differently or not done on yesterday's show? Yeah, I had a bit of a headache. I was a little bit exhausted myself. I can't fathom the anti-ICE perspective on this. When there's flashing red lights, intruder alert, intruder alert, intruder alert. It's like the smoke alarm's going off. You go, hit snooze. My brother had a good phrase, hit snooze on the smoke alarm. I want to do something with that phrase. Not entirely sure what to do with it yet. Yeah, hit snooze on the smoke alarm. David says, I would say get yourself the bottle of whatever you like, sit back and enjoy the storm. And I think a lot of people are doing that. You're going, all right, well, let's get what we need. Let's get some goodies. Let's get some snacks. Let's get some blankets. And let's just, let's camp out for a couple days. Is that the worst thing imaginable? No, it's not. It's kind of neat. So yeah, I think there is some of that for sure. Marion says, no, they drink too much Kool-Aid. Dan and Ford do. So once again, I'll get to the final comments here, and then I'll get into today's topics about the drug kingpin who's been busted in the 5-year-old hoax. They're going after 5-year-olds. We're only supposed to go after the worst of the worst. No, you're supposed to go after everybody who snuck in. Everybody. And if you volunteer to come forward and go, hey, I'm here. I'm in from Guatemala. I'm here from Russia. I'm here from Palestine. I'm here from, throw a dart anywhere on the map. I don't fucking care. I'm here from wherever. This group said, come with me. We can get you a pathway to citizenship. I'm here. I don't know what people are telling me it's wrong. People are saying I should have done that. What can I stay? I would like to stay. I am open to some sort of a process. Well, there isn't that process, so they have no other choice than to stay. Hold on. I'm open to finding better ways to handle this. Because if someone does want to be here and wants to work, and they say, run my background check. Here's my fingerprints. Check with my nationality. Go with my country of origin. Now, by the way, there's a lot of countries who you cannot verify this from. The data is absolutely non-existent and incomplete. A lot of Middle Eastern, a lot of African countries do not have a proper tracking protocol. So you can't say, here, well, let's see your thumbprints and let's run your background check. Nothing comes up. That doesn't mean you've been properly vetted. If there's people that want to be properly vetted of their past actions and full criminal history and say, look, I'd like to stay here and work. I am okay with something if we walk up to the front and go, hey, what do I need to do? And they say, get on our system. You got to check in with us once a week, every Monday. It's a 5-year, 10-year process, not to become an American citizen, but to become a legal resident, non-citizen. And if you learn English, you never take from the crucial funds that are needed to help Americans, not foreigners. If you're going to learn our Constitution, our civil liberties, you're going to learn about our Bill of Rights and say that there's no type of Sharia that's going to overthrow our Bill of Rights and civil liberties. No, I denounce that completely. I want to be an American. I want to learn English. I do want to assimilate. There should be a place for people who do maybe show up every day in the Home Depot parking lot and just want to work. But maybe you could do it above the table. Maybe there's a way that taxes could come out of it. Maybe it's not a whole subculture of people living in the shadows. Not to mention the hundreds of thousands of kids who have been human fucking trafficked into this country, subjected to God knows what horrors because of these deep state Democrats, the coyotes, the drug kingpins, the mafia bosses, the Democrat Party. Fuck that shit. It was very difficult for me to maintain my composure yesterday. It was very difficult to maintain my composure because I get really pissed off. You don't fuck with my flock. I got one job as a shepherd, and it's just watch after the things inside of this gate. And if you're going to come over as a wolf, then you know how you're handled. Zero sympathy. But we know that they're good people. Dan said something along the lines of, and if we got to go back and find that exact clip, I don't want to misrepresent it, but he said something along the lines of, well, we know these are good people and they're just here for a better life. We don't fucking know that. No, we don't. God, was it hard to maintain composure yesterday. I believe I prayed for discernment. I believe I prayed for wisdom and calm and clarity of thought. I don't know that I said my prayer before the show exactly how I wish I would have. But I did. Because I knew it was going to be easy to blow my top. I knew it was going to be easy to point to Lake and Riley and go, how fucking dare you tell me? You know that the people here are for good reason. That motherfucker wasn't. You want to roll out the laundry list? Well, can you believe this happened? Do you support this? Do you defend? No, I don't defend that. I don't support that. So what would you do to improve it so that every invader's been identified? Well, I don't think it's important. Okay, well, I guess we've reached the end of the road. Boys to Men sang about it. To the end of the road. Still, I can't let go. Marion says they drank too much Kool-Aid. Once again, just asking, do you think Ford was in that as well? I get how you might think that about Dan. Danette says, I had this conversation with my oldest son to have his ID on him. He's light-skinned. Light-skinned, what does that mean? Are you light-skinned? Does that mean light-skinned black dude or light-skinned mulatto dude? But they will take you and ask questions later. It's a real thing to be worried about. Everybody coming out of the school gymnasium is told to put their hands up. Who are you? It sucks. I can't believe they treated me like a shooter. I was a victim. Yep. Also, pause. Active shooter inside. We got a lot of shit to get to. Well, you can get to it if you can prove a reasonable cause. As long as there's a suspicion, then maybe you can have a very specific targeted approach, and then you can go, they're still fucking shooting. It's tens of millions of invaders, for fuck's sake. Flashing red goddamn lights. But I couldn't blow my top completely yesterday with Dan. So I'm venting here a little bit because I tried to hold on to some of this. It's so frustrating. I do recognize that it is a real thing to be worried about, concerned about. Because there's been a security breach at the facility, the underground nuclear facility in Los Alamos or something. I've worked here for 14 years. Why should I have to show my ID twice? I get it, civil libertarian, but there's an active breach, a active security breach. Lake and Riley and others are being snuffed out. Political power. We've lost our democracy in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I keep saying Minneapolis, but yes, the state of Minnesota. Because of that awful Supreme Court ruling with Justice John Roberts. Check his hard drive, by the way. Talk about compromised. I get that Sotomayor and Kagan and Ketanji Brown Jackson are mental patients. But Roberts, I think he's compromised or bribed or paid off or something is off with that Roberts on the Supreme Court. But the fact that you can count illegal aliens in your big blue cities to vote Democrat, and you're taking our money and giving them our free money with your nonprofits and your non-governmental organizations so that you get Democrat voters for life, and you give them driver's license, and then you make it illegal to check to see a driver's license if you're even the same fucking person, and you get to vote in our elections on a system that you tell us has proprietary software that we can't run full forensic audits on, and it's not connected to the internet unless it is, but there's a device in there that says it could possibly be, but we tell you that it wasn't, and you got to just believe that. The whole fucking thing is crazy, flashing red goddamned lights. America under attack. Pick a side. I don't think it's complicated. But I tried yesterday. Danette says real ID is already the answer. Now, Danette, would you say real ID is okay, but social, what would you call it? Real ID okay to address all this? And essentially that would make I've signed an executive order. A lot of people said, sir, they're coming in. Not sending their brightest. I hereby declare every state ID null and void in 30 days. Go to your DMV. We've hired extra staff to turn it around, make a reservation. You're in and out, bing, bang, boom. And in 30 days, we'll all have a real ID, the approved citizenship, birthright, voting ability, and anyone else illegal. Digital ID and Palantir and that stuff, that is different from a real ID where you have to show a birth certificate to get a real ID and say, yes, this is really me because I just proved it. I mean, maybe that is the answer. Hello, David. David says, it's a difficult situation. And if someone else has any ideas of how to deal with this mess, please speak up. I repeatedly went to that. Well, do you support this? Do you think that this is okay? I don't know. If it's not okay, I support improving it. Yes. Now, what is your solution to fix this problem that the Democrats caused? Well, it's not just the Democrats. Fine. And the rhinos. What do you propose for your idea? Because all I'm hearing are bitching. All I'm hearing is bitching and complaining. You're not addressing the problem. Well, the problem isn't that big. I don't know. Immigrants don't commit crimes at higher rates than citizens. So, I mean, you're like, what's the problem? There's no problem. Yogi Berra, I say when you reach the fork in the road, take it. When you reach a fork in the road, I say take it. Yogi Berra was the best at quotes. Because none of that made any sense, but it made perfect sense. It doesn't tell you go left or right or take this or that. It just says take it, whatever it is. And he said nothing by saying a lot, almost like a politician, almost like some of you would accuse me of being in my opening monologues. Lake Leon sent an answer on Grok. Did you? Oh, wow. Okay. Do you want me to share this publicly? It says, quote, I am to the point right now. I do not want any protesting going on. Yeah, let me jump in. It's impeding a federal investigation. It is. Yeah, you sent it to me. I'm asking to read your comments, so I assume you want me to read this, so I'm going to keep reading it. I'm to the point right now, I do not want any protesting going on. I know it's a right, but the reason is all these protesters impeding officers and agents. All right, agree. If an officer or agent has to take their eyes off what they're doing to deal with leftist agitators, in my eyes, they are impeding the investigation. Until the Justice Department gets this solved. Oh, by the way, there are reports that it's imminent. Supplies and troops are there. We are ready for the Insurrection Act, and these people on the streets are about to get vacuumed up. I know, trust the plan, blah, blah, blah. But I'm hearing it. I'm hearing we are very close to this, so fingers crossed. Until the Justice Department gets this solved and we're able to proceed with law enforcement doing their jobs. These are not protests. These are obstructionists, plain and simple. As far as the media covering the protest, it seems the more the media gets involved, the more the protests become violent. And I did ask Ford directly, where do you stand on Don Lemon? Because look, Don Lemon being there, is he a part of the terrorist act of terrorizing? Those church residents were terrorized in their fucking refuge, their safe space, their protected area. They were terrorized. To what degree did Don Lemon participate? It was suggested that he get indicted. I believe the grand jury came back and said, we're not going to do it. Now they're looking at federal charges on Don Lemon, but we do have our updates because multiple people have been arrested. The fat lady who was maybe the head of it, and that meth head looking guy who was maybe the loudest, most annoying person recording it. Where do you stand? Where do you stand on journalism? Because journalism is protected. First Amendment, right to a free press. So how do press get their tips? How do they get their information? They do essentially end up serving as the PR firm for the organization. Does that mean they're a co-conspirator, a collaborator, guilty of something that takes you out of the realm of journalism and into the realm of something else? Watch their actions. Are they clever enough to say, and I'm not Don Lemon or Ford or myself, who went to January 6th to film and do interviews and man on the street. We did our documentary, Declassified, the unreleased J6 files. We have a right. But I don't know that we have a right to be co-conspirators. But that is different. But if what you're doing is not to throw a rock, not to park your car sideways and try to block a road and then gun it and hit an ICE agent, if you're there filming, don't you have a right to be somewhere filming? Trespass? Is there a trespass charge coming if it's not going to be? Once again, are you protected? Do you have a cloak of invisibility just because you're with the press? These are the questions we need to answer. So yeah, I might go back and separate that interaction about Don Lemon. I might need to go back and listen. I know I won't. If editing is involved, I'm just not going to do it. The reason why you're still getting the Agree to Disagree show intro instead of the TNAM Daily show that I should have had up a year ago, but it's okay. I do want to do it though, because I've interviewed so many more interesting people than that clip even shows. Maybe this weekend, if I'm camping and I peel away for an hour or two, maybe I could knock something out. I think I have a good way to record a screen share and then crop and clip in a way that I didn't know how to do it before. I think I could jury rig it. So stay tuned. Maybe I'll get it done this weekend. David says it's factual that there is not a good way to do this. You have to stop people you may think are illegal. I believe Dan and Ford would say no. Civil liberties, protect. It's worth 99 guilty people getting away with it if it prevents one innocent person from being caught up in it. I theoretically understand that perspective, but once again, if they don't like what's happening, what's your proposal? What's your solution to do it better? If your answer is to not do it, I guess we're done here. We fundamentally disagree and we'll never agree on that. David, it should be a simple answer. I'm an American citizen, but check anyway. You're talking about the person who's asked, because you are not an American citizen, right? You're a Buffalo Bills fan living in Ontario. And that says, yep, Lake and Real ID. Oh, okay. Responded Lake Leon. Real ID has the verification of your social security number and your birth certificate. That's how we ask. Maybe Real ID is a great answer then. But I don't want our bank accounts. I don't want digital ID. I don't want our social media posts, LinkedIn, and not the group LinkedIn, but not combined together and observed by Palantir and social credit scores where you can't swipe your ID and get on a plane. You can't access things if they don't like what you said online about the government. I don't like that. But if we got to show social security number and a birth certificate, yep, here you go. Where's the thing? Yeah, I'm me. Stop. Let's prevent people from pretending. Shot in the head, and who's to blame? She tried to give ICE a bad name. There's a good song in there. There's a good parody in there. Ooh, I wonder if I could perform that on stage. I'm jotting that down as an idea. I don't know. All I'm hearing is the... Oh, okay, now it goes... Bum, 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 bum. You give ICE a bad name parody. I think there's something there. Good idea, Kenneth. Dave says, it's like talking about a young boy being questioned but not know what the outcome of the individual after being taken away. Oh, well, that was Ford. Yeah, he didn't have the second part of that. I don't know I don't know Ford to be someone who would have information and willfully withhold it to sway opinion toward a resolution or thought process that would be incorrect if you had complete information. I don't know Ford to be very deceptive. A lot of Dan's points that he brought up, illegals don't have a higher percentage of committing crime than Americans, and I don't believe it's a big deal that people snuck in here, or that it's that as big of a deal as you think it is. I don't understand that thought process. I don't get that. But yeah, Ford not knowing the outcome of the individual after being taken away. I don't know if that is knowable. I thought he was saying that he was trying to find out, but he couldn't find out, or he was eventually picked up, or he was let out later. I don't know. Dave says, I still don't know if that boy was illegal or if he was released. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I felt like Ford and Dan were both trying to pin me. Well, what about that boy? If they're doing that, you can't support ICE, right? I go, what? I don't fucking know. If that was a bad situation, then I would agree. Then let's not do that. Now, about the 40 million illegals, what are we doing there? I kept just trying to steer back. I don't know. Yeah, well, what about Lake and Riley? You don't think it's a big deal because of Lake and Riley? Tell me about Lake and Riley. You support killing American citizens like Lake and Riley? An illegal alien invader that we should have, if he went through a background check, he would have never fucking been here. Tell me, you support killing Lake and Riley? Is that what you want? You want to kill Lake and Riley? Is that what you're proposing? We have civil liberties in this country. You want Lake and Riley dead? That's really what you're telling me that you propose? I'm like, I sort of viewed it that way. I felt like it was 2-on-1, like, well, defend this, defend that. I go, no, I'm not defending that. If you're saying it's not good, let's take it at face value. All right, let's have a better system. How do we improve it? Tell me, how do we improve that? That was the main line of questioning I was just trying to figure out. Dave says, yesterday, Ford filmed the ICE agents questioning the 16-year-old supposedly for no reason. They ended up taking him anyway. Yes, that is the one that Danette was asking for clarification. Oh, Danette, you weren't here yesterday, were you? Oh, shit, you missed a heck of a show. Well, if you're camping out this weekend, maybe pull up yesterday's show. I'd love to get as many comments on and that's the other thing. If you like the program, maybe it's not as fun if you listen to shows after the fact, but please keep them coming. Every time you play an old show, something that happened in the rear view mirror, advertisements play. It's pennies in the wishing well. Type your comments. It tells the algorithm that it's a show worth engaging with, and they'll share it to more people. We got to grow this motherfucker. We got to grow this damn show. One of our trolls yesterday was like, yeah, that's why you get 20 viewers. I'm like, I'm surprised YouTube even lets me on. Do you have any idea what we used to do? I believe it was 110,000 views on our interview with John McAfee about the CIA just got nuked. I think we got 110,000 views in 2 hours, and then our account was zapped. We got shadow banned, memory hold, demonetized, all of the things. They don't like this show going out to people. I'm surprised they let us get the 100 when we get to 100. And we do. But man, we used to get in the thousands, and it wasn't that hard. We would have good conversations, good shows, good guests, good topics, good insight. But yeah, we need growth. We got to double this show. And then we got to double that. Double your pleasure, double your fun. David says, yes, the guest Ford Fisher of News to Share. Follow Ford. Everybody, question of the day. Especially Ford. N2S Reports, plural. N2S Reports and at Ford Fisher, Fischer. Can you tell me question of the day? Can you follow both of those accounts on X, or have you followed those accounts on X? He'll go anywhere chaos is, and he's filming. He's been everywhere there's chaos. He was doing his thing. We were doing our thing. I mean, we've done this. It's a loose affiliation of everyone who's doing their own thing, but you can overlap. You can Venn diagram. You can be Forrest Gump and Bubba. Hey, Bubba, lean up. Hey, Forrest, lean up against me. I'll lean up against you. That way we keep our heads out of the mud. It helps you navigate new cities, new challenges, new threats. It's not easy to be in the field of journalism, and I've been at a lot of the same locations at a lot of the same time the Ford's been there, and I find his stuff to be I want you to follow his accounts. So raise your hand. Have you followed Ford's 2 X accounts? I would encourage you to please do so. News, the number 2, share. But yeah, so that was Ford saying he, the ICE agents then and let him walk away. But they don't know. They said they end up taking him anyway. But the guest Ford had no idea what actually happened. He knew what he knew, and he knows what he filmed, and he addressed and didn't claim to know things that he didn't know. Which I think that should be that should be a best case scenario of what we could hope for when it comes to media, journalism, media and journalism. Just being upfront about it. And David says, yes, he was willing to point it out. Yeah, I do not know Ford to be one to intentionally mislead. I asked him privately his thoughts on the Nicole Good situation, and I was horrified by his response. His personal opinion was very different from mine, and it was a private conversation that I suppose I'm giving you generic stuff on here. But I grant a lot of leeway to a person who's being hit by a 4,600-pound vehicle that's spinning on ice and gunning it pedal to the metal and hits you. And you fire off 3 shots, and you watch that body cam footage or the cell phone footage of pop, pop, pop. Yeah, that happens in 2 seconds. I don't fault him for those final 2 shots at all. That's 2 seconds. Everything happens so quick. I want to defend our right to self-defense. But reasonable people can reach different conclusions on stuff. But I know point of all that is just to say Ford being willing to point things out is one of the things I like about following his account. And I suppose for full transparency, I have also personally leased footage from January 6th to Ford's media company so that they could then charge clients to lease out that footage. Am I using the right word, lease? I don't think I'm using the right word. Not sponsorship, not lease, license. I think, yeah, sorry. I granted a non-exclusive right to license our January 6th footage to Ford. So we have done business together before. I've never worked for him, but he offered to buy some stuff I had and I sold it to him. So he has a 10-year exclusive licensing right to that footage. And then after 10 years, it's mine. I have every right to make any project I want with it. And that was also part of our agreement, is that I have full access to all of his media library. So I can use his footage on anything I feel like doing in perpetuity. It's a cool agreement. I just need someone to work with editing and use that footage to put it together. But yeah, Ford does great work in the field. So if you want to see what's going on, Ford's going to be there. And I keep telling him, man, hire someone else to do this shit. Don't go out. He's like, I can't feel my fingertips. I got my hearing or my eyes, and it's like he's getting tear gas and pepper spray, and I got crushed, and I rolled my ankle. Like it's like playing a football game out there. Anyway, I encourage you to follow him. He is willing to point it out. I don't find him to be dishonest. I find him to be someone I will disagree with sometimes. But I don't find him to be dishonest, and that's perhaps the best endorsement of somebody. You can't vouch for everything about somebody. I don't find him to be that particularly dishonest. Verifiably dishonest. We have a quote that Ford found hilarious that I used. And I said, I guess maybe I'll put this on my tombstone. Oh, God, I have it written down. My lack of evidence doesn't make me wrong. My lack of evidence doesn't make me wrong. Because it's, yeah, we'll prove it. We'll prove it. I don't need to prove it. My lack of evidence doesn't make me wrong. And Lord willing, like President Trump said in Davos, we're going to indict the people. You're about to see the arrests of the people that stole our election in 2020. Is Maduro singing? Is there software and hardware devices that have been used to rig elections across the globe? Is that tied to Maduro in Venezuela? I don't know. President Trump said, I might be breaking news, but they stole the election and we're going to, I forget what he said, something like we're going to prosecute it. They're going to be arrests. I might be making news, something along those lines. So stay tuned. David here says, I think Dan Johnson yesterday was in the position of speaking out about possible abuse of the system. That is essentially the lane that he chose. I love civil liberties. Danette says, yes, that's what. The abuse of the ICE system. That's what's bad, is the abuse in the ICE system. Oh, that's what we are mad about, is abuse in the ICE system. I don't want abuse. Like I said, use the bouncer analogy, use the Columbine analogy. No, I don't want you taking your baton and smashing the kneecaps of all the kids running out of the gymnasium going, I'm not the shooter, I'm not the shooter. Shut up, go up, hands up against the wall, hands above your head. We got to check every one of you. We got to verify you're all safe and you don't have weapons. Line up. Okay. I don't want you shooting those people up against the side of the wall. I've never once said something so stupid. If there are people who are in the nightclub and they don't have the right wristband, and all of a sudden they're identified, no, I don't want the bouncers to rough them up. I don't want them to take them out back and strangle them. I don't want them punched or shot. Nope. Or stabbed. No, I don't. I don't want any abuse. So my retort to all these, well, what about this? Well, I don't want any abuse. How do we make it better? I want to know how we make it better. Shut up with the fucking complaints. Really, I got no fucking time for it. I'm not saying this to Ford. I'm not saying it's to Danette. That's tough to say. I'm not saying this to Ford. I'm not saying this to Danette. I'm not saying this to Dan. I'm just saying in general. Quit your belly aching. Tell me a way to make it better. And if your only way is we shouldn't be doing it, next. Set that aside as non-negotiable. Give me something. Give me something. Give me a way to make it better. And if you can't find a way to make it better, maybe sit this one out. Maybe shut the fuck up. Maybe. I don't know. There's no security breach. I know the lights are flashing. I know the whoop, whoop, whoop. I know the sirens are going off, but not a big deal. No, it's a big deal. Fundamental disagreement, I suppose. David, there's a fine line between the New World Order and the way that things may look, but I'm in the broader camp of ICE and Border Patrol agents. I don't want tyranny, NWO shit, digital ID, nope. But I do want some law and order, some basic stuff going on. David, we can't control how people conduct themselves while doing their jobs. Well, the one thing that was brought up, I mean, they were both laughing about Nimbus. Ben, what's up? You coming up? Come on up. You want me to lift you up? I can lift you up. I can lift you up. Mr. Bean, Mr. Bean. They're both laughing and making light of like, these guys aren't even trained. See, that's what happens when you hire too many people too quick. I'm like, what the fuck what is your goddamn complaint about that? We shouldn't hire people. We shouldn't hire them fast. They need to train for a year when the forest is burning down, or you get them to work immediately because you got to put out the fire. You got to put out the fire. And I want every ICE, every border, they need better protocols on how to restrain somebody. Every border patrol, every ICE, every officer needs to be taking jujitsu, martial arts, MMA, trained in ways to take people down as safe as possible, as quickly as possible, as restrained as possible, so they could be handcuffed and processed as safely and quickly as possible. Some of these situations where someone's in a car, man, we got to practice. We got to level up the ways out of the car, break the window, open the door, don't get caught in the door, don't stand in front of the car. I want everything leveled up. I want everything leveled up. I mean, I saw Ford and Dan both kind of laughing. They're like, well, it's not like they're trained that well. Well, then train them better. The solution of, well, it wasn't perfect, so shut it down, that's a non-starter. Marion asking the other cat, hi, Mr. Bean. Or is it Ben? Or Beanie Boy, Mr. Bean? Benjamin. He was part of a litter of 4 that we found sleeping on the front porch in Los Angeles during the cold, rainy month that we get late in the year. A cuddle pile. Mr. Bean, She-Bound, Leto, and Aster. Rest in peace, Aster. Sheeb has been adopted out to a former roommate. And yeah, the 4 of them showed up together in a cuddle pile trying to stay warm. So they were all brought inside. They were all spayed and neutered. And yeah, that's Mr. Bean. That's the story. Hello, Miraculous Botanical. New name on the account. Hello again, Dr. Nick. Taking issue with when I said that the lady hit the ICE agent at full speed. Well, yeah, he did. I'm sorry, she did. If you watch the 4 videos, which I have multiple times, I did a 20-minute breakdown of what I interpreted the evidence to be. Her girlfriend, wife, whoever the other lady was on the outside that was crying after the fact, it's my fault, I brought her here. Horrible series of decisions, yes. Tragic, shameful, unnecessary. But the Dems are so desperate to get another George Floyd, to get another martyr. They don't care who they're willing to they're willing to sacrifice any of you dopes. Stop listening to the Democrats. Is that too harsh? I don't give a shit. You guys need to wake up to what's happening. And we got to look out after our easily manipulatable, brainwashable people out there. Like the Nicole Good. What business did she have impeding with the federal investigation down there? Rapists, murderers, child abusers. Let them do their fucking jobs. And if you want to be there, be there. Be on the sidewalk, park in the street. You don't impede with investigation. And yeah, 5.5 miles, half a mile an hour. That's what caused the internal bleeding. Nick, I don't know how you missed the video. We heard him get hit. We watched that video. She was told by the girlfriend wife, drive, baby, drive. She went pedal to the metal and the wheels spun out on the ice. And she lurched forward in a 4,600-pound vehicle of death, hitting an agent, causing internal bleeding. Then he fired 3 shots in self-defense. That's how I saw it. If you think something was happening at 0.5 miles an hour, like a shopping cart gently rolled 2.5 feet in the wind, in the breeze, gently brushing the shin of an agent who took out a bazooka and nuked the community. Come on, man. That's not legitimate analysis. That's fucking bullshit. That's not what happened. 0.5 miles an hour. You either didn't watch the footage or you're intentionally misinterpreting what that is. 0.5 miles an hour. I'm not going to play the video again. I've watched it enough. But yeah, full speed. From a stop, gunned it. Pedal to the metal. Spun out on the ice, smashing into the ice agent. Pop, pop, pop. It all happened in about 1.5 seconds. Anyway, David says, are some agents more aggressive than others? Probably, but they have a job to do, and they're only human beings. So maybe let's not throw gasoline onto the fire. Gets a little, gets a little dicey. Marion says, I asked that follow-up question. Did you think Ford was she goes, no, not so much with Ford, but maybe Dan was, in my humble opinion. Kenneth concurs. Ford, not so much. Because that's he tries not to, he goes out of his way to try not to put personal opinions into it. But I tell him all the time, I'm like, Ford, your personal opinions are in everything you do, everything you write, every headline, every piece of text. We all do it, and you definitely do it. If you're trying to stay neutral, number one, good luck with that. Number two, you're not. Number three, I see that in many regards you are doing a pretty good job a lot of the time at it, but it's not complete. It's not perfect. It's not 100%. I see a lot of bias because everybody has a bias. If we are primed to see the police as evil, like maybe our friend Dr. Nick, maybe everything about this crackdown is going to feel like abuse. I told Dan at the top of the show, no, I'm trained when I put on an event, like when we worked together at Solutions Institute, and I gave a speech. I gave a lecture to the activists that we were training. One of the key components of putting an event together is security. And I view security at the highest level. You can't protect the people inside unless you have patted people down for weapons. You know that you're not going to get robbed blind on the inside, and the people aren't going to get harmed, stabbed, shot, AR'd, or other. I don't want to see that. Security is paramount. It's not an antithesis. It's not in opposition to freedom. You can't have freedom if you're getting abused. And I think it's absolutely abusive what's been happening. And so I see it. But yeah, I see Ford tries. Like Leanne says, yeah, Ford, just a tad. And with just a tad, I would say yes. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same. And the amount of pushback I got versus the amount of pushback Dan got from Ford is, I thought that was 80-20, 70-30, 65-35, something like that. It wasn't 50-50. But it's okay. It was a conversation. It wasn't a knockout battle. It wasn't Tyson versus Holyfield or something. It was just a conversation. David says, I think Ford didn't want to take either side so he can continue to do the filming and covering he tries to cover. Yeah. There's a difference between being Andy No, Nick Shirley, Nick Sorter, Scooter Caster, not so much. But there's a difference between somebody out there who's taking sides and somebody that is on a hit list. Because there's an unhinged, violent angle to these lefties. They have really bad arguments, the leftists, the Democrats, the infiltrators, the agitators, really bad ideas. And so they use force. They shoot Charlie Kirk if they don't like what he has to say. Well, fuck you very much. You don't get to shoot someone you disagree with. Come up with a better argument, pal. So yeah, Ford definitely tries to keep filming by not taking sides. Just, I'm here to whatever. And the point I made to defend Ford in journalism, and God bless it, maybe Don Lemon, although I think his case was different. that footage, any of that footage that you find, it's going to be used both in favor of the police, in favor of the protesters, against the protesters, against the police. You just catch what you catch. And don't you want some more eyes on this? When could you imagine how that Renee Good shooting would have been spun if we didn't have it on video from 4 angles? Oh my God. Would that have been bad? So in a way, there is a vast public service being done by people filming stuff. On the flip side, would you have so many unhinged people feeling so self-aggrandizing and self-important? I'm in charge of the road now. I get to block the road. Look at me. I'm in charge. I'm blocking ICE. I'm serving a higher purpose. See, film me. Hey, baby, film me. She was being filmed by her girlfriend to get into trouble, wife, whatever the person was. She needs to be charged. If the camera wasn't rolling, would they have done what they did? There's an argument there. Marion, I carry my passport card at all times as well, along with driver's license. Yeah, I do that now. Keep my passport separate, and I'll keep my card around. David said, I don't think Ford wanted to take either side. Correct. Kenneth, Ford looked bored. Well, that rhymes. I get it. I don't know that he might have looked a little bored. I think all three of us looked a little bored because we're trying very hard to put productive conversation out there. Marion says, no, not Ford, just Dan I was talking about. Okay, all right. Like Leon, right, David, but if a person can't or won't pick a side, I'll pick it for him. Hey, I mean, right? Isn't that what the left is being told nonstop? If you don't pick a side, then you're on the side of the Nazis, the tyrants, the Gestapo. Okay. You got to join us. You got to be anti-MAGA. It's not just enough to be pro-Democrat. You have to be anti-ICE, anti-MAGA, anti-fascist. We're Antifa. You're a bunch of fucking dork domestic terrorists is what you are. There are times where you need to pick a side. I agree. David, but either one doesn't seem to understand what's actually happened to your country. David, the thing I can't understand is how they didn't see what was happening at the southern borders. And also, like when I asked Ford, and he said he didn't want to do a ride along with the police because then he'd get a biased perspective. I go, Ford, you're getting the leftist biased perspective on the ground. Why aren't you giving them equal time? It's equal time provisions. Don't just cover the Democrat candidate, cover the Republican candidate. Go get their point of view. Watch them. Look at the criminal background. Look at the absolute demons that are being vacuumed up by ICE. Well, then, take a tour of North Korea. Hello, Mr. Kim Jong-il. Might I give you a glowing report on what I see? Yes, do that. What the fuck, man? I believe I said that to Ford in the moment. I'm like, yeah, of course do that. I don't know. That was weird. Danette says, David, they did see. They were told to stand down, and they let them. It was planned. This ICE is also planned. Well, yeah, it's headed to Maine now. It needs to go everywhere. So let's go. Danette had a call with the boss and had to turn off the computer for a little bit. What did I miss? We're trying to unpack what happened yesterday because I recognized I was carrying around a lot of frustration over what happened yesterday. And I had to talk this through with you. I appreciate it. But I view the conversation to be important. Also, speaking of important conversation, so important, I want to do it and I want to be fair and I want to think about it. Because Dan asked me, do you think we found some common ground? I go, I don't know, man. I'm not in contemplation mode. I'm in task mode. And I haven't had time to reflect on it. So I'm talking about it now to figure out what I feel. I feel several things. So that's what you missed is we're trying to unpack this. Dave says the outcome of allowing anyone unvetted to roam your country and get all the benefits of true American citizens. Yeah, not a good idea. Like Leon says, hey, Ketanji Brown Jackson, the auto pen got her in there. Let's get her out. Are we open to that? On a technicality? Democrats use technicalities all the time. Danette says divide and conquer digital IDs soon. I guess I'm in favor of real IDs. Digital ID, no. I guess that's maybe where we could put our line in the sand. Yeah, they have deadlines for states to get it. or you could have a passport or a passport card, I believe is how that works, I think. David, there's either two sides of the story. You either think Trump is part of the New World Order, and I think those two do. I'll let them answer that question. I didn't ask them that directly, so don't let me put words in their mouth. But I told them directly, we're in a time of war. That's our commander-in-chief, and this is the best, maybe the only time in my lifetime that I felt like we have a commander-in-chief that gives a shit about this country, and they're trying to fix decades of problems. So yeah, I'm willing to grant a little bit of leeway while they go in there to clean up the situation, the mold remediation, before the whole house gets condemned. We've already lost Minnesota. I don't want to lose any more states. We lost California. We lost New York. How do we reclaim our territory? This is war. You don't see it? I don't know what TV or what screen you're looking at. A fork in the road leads to flat tires. It's kind of clever. What are those people actually protesting, though? A mix. David says, I definitely trust the plan. None of us know the threat levels that we have faced, nor do we know exactly who every bad actor is. I'd say the elite's plan, centuries in the making, and the good people had the task of taking this all down without a total breakdown of society. Very dangerous game of Jenga that we're playing. All right, you guys are saying, no, you're not following them on X. You don't have X. You guys should all get X. It's a very useful app. I recommend it highly. David, it's great to listen to other people's opinions, but if you have no real answers on how to do it differently, then what's the point of complaining? I think I made that point a couple of times, trying to be polite about it. David says, I don't want to say it, but it's scary how many mindless, non-thinking people there are everywhere. Kenneth asks, I think this is what turned things around for Nick. When you say this is what turned things around for Nick, do you say just the ICE operation to remove the illegal alien invaders caused Nick to bail on Trump and MAGA and turn against us? Is that what you're saying, Nick? Is that what you're saying, Kenneth? That you think ICE vacuuming up illegal alien invaders? By the way, no matter how nice you are, you've had a year. You've been told if you're here illegally, go home and get back in line. Show your ID. Let's do a background check. You will have the chance to reapply. No harm, no foul. If you've been here for a year after you've been told use your CBP home app, do this the easy way or the hard way, they're all choosing the hard way. Fuck them. If they're not willing to do it the right way, to what degree do we have to keep? What other plan do we have? You know you didn't buy a movie theater ticket. Every 5 minutes, they're stopping the movie to say, by the way, if you're in here without a movie theater ticket, we request that you go to the front. We command you to walk to the aisles, go to the front of the facility, buy a ticket, show your ID. It's a 21 and over movie. It's an X-rated movie or an R-rated movie, 18 and over, whatever, 17. Because at the top of the hour, we're going to be replaying this movie on the screen next door. And then when it comes to that time, they turn the lights on, they stop the movie, and they ask everyone, show me your ticket, show me your ticket, show me your ticket. Oh my God, they're literal Nazis. They're literal Gestapo. Papers, please. Papers, please. Oh, Orange Man bad. He's a tyrant. No, they're trying to run a ship. Shape up or ship out. We're sick of this ship. David, the lady that got shot was definitely unfortunate, but they were basically laughing at federal agents trying to do their jobs. And again, what are they even protesting against? Kenneth, all right, I'll pick a side. Side salad, please. What was that movie? I think it was Kentucky Fried Movie. Have you seen Kentucky Fried Movie? I'll take a little Russian dressing on the side. And they serve the salad, and there's a little, like a midget Russian guy putting on clothes and dancing. A little Russian on the side. Marion, kind of like the screaming Karen last week to the reporter, and the reporter had to say, it's okay, I'm with CNN. Yeah. It's okay, I'm with CNN. I'm on your side. Oh, Kenneth is saying the good story. It's not a good story, but the Nicole good story is maybe what turned Nick. We can ask Nick, is the Nicole good story what flipped you? Where did you make a hard pivot? There we are. Hit like, hit subscribe. We have Rumble Rants and Super Chats, everybody. If it's your first time watching, thank you. We are crowdfunded, which is why we have that ticker at the bottom of the screen. TICKER is what I said at the bottom of the screen. Don't say I'm saying things I didn't. And yeah, great ways to support the show. Rumble Rants, Super Chats, sign up on Patreon or become a monthly subscriber on Rumble or YouTube. All right, everybody. What's happening in the universe? Certain things are happening in the universe. So let's take a look. Did you see the hearing on Capitol Hill? Now's the time on Sprockets when we dance. Question of the day, what's that from? You know this guy, Michael Fanoni, a real piece of work here. Unhinged former J6 security guy. Did you see this from the hearings yesterday? I believe Stuart Rhodes has talked about this guy, that he's a complete traitor. I got to double check that, but I believe Fanone is one of the alleged co-conspirators of the frame job to pin President Trump for a fake insurrection that never happened. You know, when 600,000 MAGA supporters were told the election was stolen. By the way, don't bring guns and we're not going to actually take our country back. That's an insurrection. No, it's a protest. Real America's Voice put this out and says, chaos explodes during Jack Smith's hearing as former J6 Capitol Police officer. Michael Fanone loses it on Ivan Rakelin and an altercation breaks out in the... He's doing that tough guy leaning into it thing, and he's got some tall guy behind him. Hold me back. Hold me back. Hold me back. Hold me back. Put up your dukes. Put up your dukes. Look at this goofy little weirdo. All these threatening postures. All right, punk. TikTok. People seem to know who you are, and they don't like you. They think you're as complicit as Liz Cheney and Kinzinger and the rest. Look at this. It's like an MMA or like a wrestling thing, like a wrestling promo. He stared him down, growling at him. No shame. No shame. No shame. Treating these people that way. This guy is like children. Something about children threatened by you.
Rape my children, you sick asshole. Rape my children.
Something about are my children? What the hell is he even talking about? Look at this. What a weirdo. Yeah, I wish someone could do a deep dig on this guy. He definitely has some skeletons. He looks unhinged. What? Fortunately, Bad Bunny showed up in uniform to de-escalate. Capitol Police lied and were cowardly in admitting Democrats' complicity. And they murdered Ashley Babbitt, says KAQ. A Capitol Hill police officer knows that he's guilty, and that's why he gets angry every time he's confronted. His day is coming. We said TikTok. 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 H. Vincent says, this is the guy who lied to the January 6th committee and turned his body camera footage off. Oh, he's a liar. Treasonous, duplicitous. All right, then. Weird. Stay tuned. I like this Chappelle Show skit moment here. It shows the U.S. with Alaska and then getting Greenland because the framework of a deal has been reached, allegedly. This is pretty interesting here.
UN, you have a problem with that? You know what you should do?
What should you do if the UN has a problem with that, Dave Chappelle, acting as president here?
You should sanction me.
Yep. You got a problem with us taking Greenland? Fine. Then sanction me.
Sanction me with your army.
All right, UN, use your army and sanction me.
Oh, wait a minute. You don't have an army.
peak Dave Chappelle might be the best television on earth. I mean, it's right up there. Hi, buddy. Well, hi, guy. You don't have an army.
I guess that means you need to shut the fuck up.
I guess that means you need to shut the fuck up.
You win. You have.
Oh, that's pretty great. I hope you got a kick out of that little that moment there.
For some,
I sure did. Was that funny? Was that as funny to you as I thought it was? Okay. Here's Javier Milei talking to the World Economic Forum, laying things out about America or the Americas. Basically what America's doing. Saving the planet, I think. I like Javier Milei. Take a listen.
some time now, and for some strange reason, the West began to turn its back on the ideas of liberty. That is why in this same place in 2024, I stated that the West was in danger as a result of having embraced increasing doses of socialism in its most hypocritical form, which is wokeism. In turn, in 2025, I explained the mental parasites sown by the left in humanity. However, 2026 is the year in which I bring you good news. The world has begun to awaken. The best proof of this is what is happening in the Americas with the rebirth of the ideas of liberty. Therefore, the Americas will be the beacon of light that will once again illuminate the entire West, thereby repaying the civilizational debt with expressions of gratitude towards the foundations in Greek philosophy, Roman law, and Judeo-Christian values. We have a better future ahead, but that better future exists only if we return to the roots of the West, which means returning to the ideas of liberty. May God bless the West, may the forces of heaven be with us, and long live freedom, damn it. Thank you very much. For some time now...
And long live freedom, damn it. Thank you very much. McGovern in the comments, thank you for recognizing President Trump's effort. Yeah, we need more leaders like this. Speak up just like this. Let's get it. Let's get things together, shall we? Thank you, Javier Milei. Hey, remember to say, Jamie, pull up that clip about Hillary Clinton. Remember what I'm talking about?
The Democrats are not happy with this one.
Jamie, go to that Hillary Clinton thing that I texted you today. This one is wild.
We do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens. We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration into this country. We know now that too many people come in for medical care as it is. We certainly don't want them having the same benefits that American citizens are entitled to have.
How about that? More MAGA than Trump.
And then
it's
you
all
couldn't believe you watched the news.
illusion.
The Democrats are not happy with this one.
Jamie, go to that Hillary Clinton thing that I texted
MAGA.
you today. This one is wild.
We do not think the
Isn't it so weird how they've turned around because they realize everybody hates them during COVID. We hate you. You're imposing tyrannical shit upon us. We're moving out of your shithole cities. We don't want to be a part of this scam anymore. Oh crap, we're going to lose congressional representation. Let's flood the zone with tens of millions of illegal aliens who do not hold the values that we have. We don't have commonality. We're not playing for the same team. We're not on the same page. We don't speak the same language. We don't have the same end goals. And they're being paid to do it with our fucking money. No. No, no. No, 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 no. So was Don Lemon briefed on the church attack? And look, I've been to a lot of events. I've been to a lot of conventions. I've been to a lot of protests. I've been to a lot of events. And yes, the media does talk to groups who are planning to do things so that you can find out where to be. Does that make you a co-conspirator? I mean, it is sort of a fine line. I know we want to get Don Lemon because he's an absolute douche canoe. However, does Ford Fisher have the right to go to these places and he, has contacts with so-and-so and they tell you, hey, at this time, at this location, such a thing is going to happen? Well, you were complicit. You planned it. You were in on it. You were told that something is going to happen and you filmed it. Should you have alerted somebody because it was going to be criminal? A little bit of a slippery slope there, a little bit. But was Don Lemon briefed on the church attack? He's trying to pretend that he had nothing to do with it, but I mean, didn't he though?
No affiliation to that organization. I didn't even know they were going to this church until we followed them there.
Wasn't this you right before it?
He didn't even know what was going on. Is that true? Or are you telling stories, Don Lemon?
Getting the operation together again. This is an operation that is secret, that they invited folks out. Can't tell you what is going to happen, but you're going to watch it live unfold here on the Don Lemon Show.
Kind of sounds like you knew what was going on, but then you let this slip out.
Turned our camera off of them because they're giving some critical information here.
So this proves you were briefed on what they were doing and you participated with it actively.
There's a reason they have so many white people here. I'm just going to be honest. It's because of the operation that they're doing today. It's important to have allies, as I said, white allies here. So that is what I could say.
So you just said that you needed to bring white savior liberals into the operation?
White knights.
Like they have some sort of special power and white savior complex is going to make this look any better?
MAGA administration and the fake news MAGAs are losing their mind over something that's not even true.
Kind of looking like it's true. Yeah, what do you guys think?
I don't know. What do you think? Question of the day. Should Don, question of the day. I'll phrase it this way. Do you agree or disagree that Don Lemon how am I going to phrase this? Agree or disagree? Don Lemon should not be arrested for his role in that church terror attack. And that was a church terror attack. Just because you didn't shoot the place up doesn't mean you didn't cause terror, committing terror for political means inside of a house of God. Agree or disagree? Don Lemon is protected under the First Amendment from terrorism charges because of his role in the media. You agree that Don Lemon shouldn't be arrested because we do have a right to film and interview people doing things. Tell me in the comments. But then specifically, I see question popping up here. Kenneth says disagree. Why? Just as importantly as saying agree or disagree, tell me why. Kenneth disagrees. Tell me why. He also says Don is responsible for some lemon snow, I suspect. Yeah, Marion, hilarious Hillary. What a concept. Don't let people jump in and steal all your stuff. Marion, question of the day. Don should be held responsible, but he is liberal. Oh, and he's gay, and he's black. In this modern day and age, trying to like pull the veil, pull the blanket of misery off of this DEI nonsense we've had to live under for 20, 30, 40 years. There's allegedly protected groups of people that just, they wear a cloak of invincibility. It's like the Gold Star dad the Democrats brought. I think it was a dad. Might have been a mom. Maybe it's a Gold Star dad. Maybe a mom. At their convention. Maybe it was 2016. And they brought a Gold Star parent out to get political about something. And then that person got attacked by President Trump. It's like, no, I disagree with that. And then like it kind of attacked it. It's like, how dare you come after a Gold Star parent? You don't have a cloak of invincibility. Yeah, we all weep for the loss of your family member, of course, but that doesn't mean you get unfettered access to bullshit opinions in political hit jobs. No, we have every right to push back on anything you're going to come up with. Thank you very much. So no, Don Lemon being liberal shouldn't matter. Don Lemon being gay shouldn't matter. Don Lemon being black shouldn't matter. Content of your character and your actions. That's it. David says, I think they should probably charge Don Lemon. So you would disagree. Like Leon, backdoor Don should be arrested. Well, I never heard him called that, but all right, let's go to this. Check the latest report on the weather. It's bad. Snow is possible anywhere from 0 to 144 inches. Maybe. Could start at noon, 3, 7, 9, or 10 o'clock. Might be today, or maybe not. Possibly none. Are we clear? Are we clear on that? I love that. I think it's so good. Yeah, just be ready. Storm coming within 24 hours. I see sun right now, but it's about to be very different soon. So get prepared, people. Wow, what is this? Carolyn Levitt headquarters. Oh, 1.4 million. I'm not following. I'll follow it. All right. This says horrific. Lexi Lawler. Sounds like a wrestler name. A labor and delivery nurse at Baptist Health in Boca Raton, Florida, said this about Carolyn Levitt. Is this even real? Here, Mr. Bean, let me move this way. Let's go. Whoops, sorry. Here, 2 steps back. There you go. Okay, now you got the parameters to sit. If it fits, I sits. Okay, that should be pretty good, huh? Listen to this lady.
As a labor and delivery nurse, it gives me great joy to wish Caroline Levitt a 4th-degree tear. I hope that you fucking rip from bow to stern and never shit normally again, you cunt.
Did you catch that? These are our medical system needs a purge. Day after day, story after story. We've done this for months. People in healthcare, people in we know how hostile a lot of the educators are. Oh, Ben, don't step on that, please. I don't even know what did you just pull up? All right. Yeah, I love having my cats participate, but man, I gotta find a better space because they want to be right here on the keyboard. There are people that said they would let MAGA members expire, that they would do it intentionally to them. They'd withhold treatment, wishing the worst physical pain on these people. How in the world could this person keep her job? If this isn't a skit, they're saying it's a Lexi Lawler. I don't know if it is or not. Marion says, that's a threat. Arrest her. It's more of a hope and a wish, meaning you have no business being in healthcare because you're a fucking lunatic. Sunny over there with David as well. Yeah, enjoy the sun, David. I suspect in about 18 hours, it's going to be very different. Yeah, the Lord is shaking his snow globe. Yeah, she seems real nice, huh? Would you like this to be your doctor if she found out that you don't vote with the leftards? Would you feel good about that? No, I would not want this person anywhere near me. When will this person lose their license to care for humans? This wish is purely demonic, and nobody should trust her with anything important. Shame on Baptist Health. Well, I'll save that for a minute. I'll save that for a minute. Wow.
As a labor and delivery nurse, it gives me great joy.
Wait, where'd the volume go?
To wish Caroline Levitt a 4th-degree tear. I hope that you fucking rip from bow to stern and never shit normally again, you cunt.
Wow. Gunther Eagleman says, why did liberals tell Kyle Rittenhouse he should have just stayed home? Remember that? Oh, you have no business in, not Waukesha. Was it Waukesha? No, it was Milwaukee. Where was it? Milwaukee, not Waukesha. Huh? Where was Kyle Rittenhouse defending? Okay, Grok is down. Doesn't understand my basic request. Where did Kyle Rittenhouse defend the community? Okay, 3 times. Is Grok weird for everybody else? Because it's not working for me right now. Was it Milwaukee? Anyway. But yeah, it's so interesting. The leftists said Kyle Rittenhouse should have just stayed home. But they didn't say the same about Renee Good. Make it make sense. That's an excellent point. Oh, here's that nutbag. Michael Fanone. Holy smokes, former officer Michael Fanone melts down over a question about him turning off his body camera on J6. This is Benny Johnson putting this out there. Lindell TV, this Carla Castanueva. I didn't interact with her, but I did see her. We were there at the same place in D.C. on Inauguration Day last year.
Officer Fanone, how are you today?
Oh, I'm great.
What happened in there?
What are you talking about?
That confrontation.
Jack Smith testified about how he had proof beyond reasonable doubt that Donald Trump incited, orchestrated, and funded the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6, 2021.
There was no insurrection at the Capitol. Otherwise, MAGA would have brought weapons and not stopped until that building was cleared. That didn't happen. Donald Trump did not instruct people to do such a thing. Pure and simple. That guy's a liar.
It seemed like there was a fight in there.
No, there was no fight.
Is it true, Officer Fanone, that you turned off your own body camera on January 6th?
No.
I saw your body cam. You turned it off yourself. You were playing dead. I saw your body cam footage.
You're a fucking,
You're a fucking, who the fuck is this meathead, eh? You're the fucking,
This guy is not wired correctly.
What am I?
right-wing conspiracy theorist.
I saw you turn off your body cam footage, sir, but thank you for disrespecting me. Psychopath. Officer.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. When will he be indicted? That's my question. Victoria Brooke, hey, check this out. News to share. Talking to Black Panthers who are siding with President Trump. There it is, news to share.
Our stance is, for illegals. We're not going to step in front of that. That's not our fight. That has nothing to do with us. We're not going to step into that fight and going through the community defending somebody that we didn't even want to be here. Our stance is,
What did I do? There we go. All right. So the Black Panthers are siding with President Trump on mass deportation. Like, I'm not getting into this argument.
Ringleader of the $250 million Minnesota welfare fraud scandal.
The ringleader of the $250 million Feed Our Future Somalia scam, Amy Bach. Oh, she's talking.
Telling Fox News she believes the state leaders knew taxpayer money was being stolen and did nothing to stop it.
I think that's part of the story. To say they knew about it and didn't do anything to stop it? Come on. We're sort of back to the Don Lemon thing here, but let's take this one. Of course, they were co-conspirators. They can't claim that they just, oh, I guess it just failed to meet our oversight. We didn't catch it. No. You did it. This wasn't a glitch. This was a plan.
But I guess how high
I wish there wasn't music going on in the background, but let's listen.
up do you think the message went that there was fraud? Like,
how many people got to know that there was fraud? Yeah, everybody knew.
do you think it made its way to the governor's office?
I struggle to believe it didn't.
Struggling to believe that it didn't. Minnesota fraud ringleader claims state leaders knew the tax money was being.
I have to believe that the governor's office and Keith Ellison's office were aware of this.
Multiple people have come out and said that they reported it, but then they were targeted. They were harassed.
They've said they were involved in helping the FBI. They've said they were made aware.
Mm-hmm. And then all of it just stopped because the gravy train was flowing. The treason was complete and you weren't getting off the train. The train's on the tracks now. It's rolling. Inertia, baby.
A spokesperson for the state attorney general responding, saying in part,
the Minnesota AG responds to Amy Bach saying, quote, treating the words of a convicted fraudster like Amy Bach as though they have any credibility is shocking. She's a liar, fraudster, and manipulator of the highest order who has never acknowledged or accepted guilt.
Quote, treating the word.
Just too much weird music back there. I got to keep pausing it. So there's a second part to this. This is the real Toria Brooke drop here. Let's see if there's a second part of this quote. Nope. All right. What is this old video going viral of Erica France V and JT Massey's Amazing Race couple video, wherein 25-year-old France V says, well, here. Oh, she lived in China? Oh, that's weird. Normal people don't just live in China.
It was all a dream.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning, America.
I've lived in China. I've lived in Chongqing. I've been to Romania. I've been to
Chongqing in Romania. I mean, it sort of gives off like asset vibes, doesn't it? Comments GM here says, so Erica didn't have a life before Charlie? So what? He admitted on one of these podcasts he was constantly watching porn in his younger days. People change and grow.
Croatia.
Croatia, too.
Lived in Puerto Rico for a little bit. Really handsome.
You look gorgeous. Are you fixing my... I got a little bacon. Babe, that's deep in there. Give them a cleavage. People want cleavage. Showcase it.
Sex sells, babe.
Sex sells. That's me.
That's against our religion.
It's not.
Sex sells, you know, that's against my religion.
Within the confines of marriage.
How do we feel about Erica? Type in the comments. How do we feel about Erica? I don't know.
I don't... We need...
What? We're checking the lighting? Oh, okay. Yeah, we're checking the lighting. Roll camera one! Hi, I'm JT Massey. I'm 25 years old from Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm a minor league baseball player with the Colorado Rockies, and I'm
It's all good, baby.
Okay. I don't know what that was about. Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are now in Russia, and talks with Putin have reportedly begun. Witkoff and Kushner in Russia. Maybe we can end this stupid war. Yeah, David, about Minnesota. Yeah, 19 billion plus is some really poor oversight. Oh, hello, Deb. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the party. My friends Nick and Star Spangler won the Amazing Race. I would love to be in the Amazing Race. Oh, if I could get a logistics person and I could do the clever stuff. Ooh, I'd be such a good on that show. I think that once we've been on a game show, we should sort of have like a fast pass to get on other game shows. I was good. I won my question of the day. How many people are aware in the comments that I was on a game show? How many of you are aware that I was on a game show? Yes, I was aware you were on a game show. No, I didn't know you were on a game show. Please type that in the question of the day. So I'd love to be in the Amazing Race. That'd be awesome. David doesn't trust Erica Kirk at all. But yeah, back to the news. Breaking 911. Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner now in Russia. Talks with Putin reportedly begun. I want this stuff ended. It would be great if they could stop that. Please, please, please. Who is this? Derek Lewis? Is this an MMA guy? Yeah, UFC. Asked about Trump. President Trump.
I know the White House could be next for you with the win. Do you think the White House is ready for a Derek Lewis post-fight celebration?
Oh, I think I've seen some of his post-fight celebrations. They are kind of funny and weird. But yeah, we're having an MMA fight on the grounds of the White House. Let's go. We're having a birthday party. 250 years, baby. I'm sick of this being ashamed of being American shit. Decades of this garbage leftist Marxist commie crap. I'm proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free. How can you say you're free? Papers, please. You gotta just let people invade your country. Just let them in. Just let them invade. You have no right. And I'm proud of them. But gave that right to me, and I'll probably sip up next to you and defend her to this day. Deb says season 13, The Amazing Race. I've never watched The Amazing Race. I've caught a couple clips of it, but I've never sat and watched it. I should apply for Survivor. Ooh. Okay. I watch that show alone. You know, I feel like I'm good at survival skills. I feel like my mentality's right. Somewhat. But like, do I know enough about hunting and fishing? I don't know that I've been enough of a hunter and fisher. Not Ford Fisher. David never knew I was on a game show. What? And I'm going to put it, I need to upload game show to social media. Yep. I tried to get on, don't forget the lyrics. I got some audition footage somewhere where I sing Santeria, something else. I think I was doing karaoke across the street from Sony Pictures at, the hell's the name of that place? Backstage. And they were having a contest and they were casting. And then I almost got on Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? I think they had finished filming on that one. And then I ended up on Catch 21 with Alfonso Ribeiro, the host, and Mickey, the card girl. Oh, your aunt was on Price is Right? Nice. Deb, what are you saying? The talking would drive them mad? Drive who mad? Talking would drive who mad? I wouldn't last long. On what? On Survivor? Because I talk? I can be quiet too, sometimes. Anyway, back to Derek Lewis about being on the White House grounds for the 250th birthday party. We're not ashamed to be American. Gosh darn it, I love being an American.
I believe so. Shit, you see all the crazy shit Trump do? Shit, they'll be ready for me. Shit, I'm PG-13 compared to him.
He's PG-13 compared to Trump.
I've been, riding with him since 2016, so that's pretty cool that he's a fan of me.
And I know.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Hold on, what is this? Toria Brooks says, Rocket Man Kim Jong-un has a Trump bachelor era moment with women at a new spa resort. I felt passionately grateful for our system. What's he? What are all these dudes doing? What's happening? What is this? Okay, I don't know what we're even. Oh, now there's some ladies. Comrade Kim Jong-un. Oh, there we go. Full of happiness. Oh, there he is. Now he's. See, this makes a little bit more sense. Now I'm sitting by the side of the spa for all the ladies. And look at me. I'm Kim Jong. Ooh. It's a fateful and cultural environment, so you can have fun, Nana. You said that maximum convenience must be guaranteed. Look at that lady. Oh, boy. Oh, look at him cheesing. Look at him cheesing. He's grinning ear to ear like, hey now. Oh, boy. Yeah, they should. Someone should pull him in. Pillow fights or splashing water at each other. Bath time with Barry. Yeah. Bathhouse Barry. Oh, Kim Jong. Wow, that was a weird piece of video I could have probably done without. Toria Brooks says, during the Australian Open press time, an American tennis player, who's this, Taylor Fritz, is asked his opinion on what's going on in the U.S. I mean, not very much to do with tennis.
Last question. Hi, Taylor. Congrats on the win. I'm asking all the American players this, and there's a lot happening back home in the U.S., and kind of has been for
a lot happening. Yeah, there's always a lot happening. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
a lot of the last year, and I'm just kind of wondering how you're feeling about all.
How are you feeling about what over the past year? You didn't say what specifically. What? Narrow down your. A lot happening in the U.S. over the last year. What? What? Stupid question.
I mean, I'm not sure what we're like specifically talking about, but there is.
I have no idea what the guy's talking about.
There is a lot going on in the U.S. and I don't know. I feel like whatever I say here is gonna get put in a headline, and it's gonna get taken out of context. So I'd really rather not do something that's gonna cause a big distraction for me in the middle of the tournament.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Doug.
Stupid ass question. I mean, I get it. Ask whatever you want, but also, we kind of know the game they're playing. What is this? I don't know what that is.
A woman will change your whole life.
ASAP Rocky.
Especially if it's a companion. Before I had my children.
About Rihanna.
It was like being with my girl, took a blindfold off. As soon as you get with a girl, she'll tell you, like, that's not your friend. That's your friend. But that one, no.
And to be clear, you didn't just get with any girl.
I know. I got with a very special woman.
If you had asked me in 2012, is this guy going to be the most happily coupled up, familyed up man in rap music?
Hell no.
I respectfully would have said, probably not.
It was just like, we were on the same page. Born the same year. My dad is from her country. My family, when I go back, I get to see both sides of my family. It's so many similarities. It's just funny. We laugh about it a lot. She was always my boo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always fucked with her. My mother used to say shit like, I know you like this girl that you with right now. I ain't gonna say no names. But I want you with Riri. A woman will change. It's like, Ma, why you keep saying that?
Ma,
That girl
mind your business.
Yeah, that girl don't even like want me like that. Like we cool, Ma. Like, that's just my friend. Chill. I'm telling you, she real. And mothers know best. I'm thankful that, you know, she was put in my life at that time, because I think anytime prior to that, you know, I don't think I was ready for something like that. You know, I don't think she was either.
I mean, that happens. Timelines syncing up. God, how many connections? Can you think of times you've had potential connections, but like It wasn't the right time for you, or it wasn't the right time for her. It just, you both weren't in the right place at the right time. I'm thinking of like, I'm just, yeah, just sit here and watch me think about past connections, missed connections. It's got me thinking. Anyway. All right. That was Toria Brooks' drop. This is Michael Fanone, in case you were curious. In light of former Officer Michael Fanone's appearance for Jack Smith's testimony today, here is some of Fanone's body camera footage on January 6th. This films a medic telling Fanone that he appears okay, even though Fanone testifies he had a heart attack and a concussion. So search Fanone body cam. He's wearing the one, and that's the medic checking him.
No obvious severe injuries. Can't find any fractures. Pupils are equal. Open your mouth. All right. Dizzy at all? You can stay here and rest until you're feeling better. Thanks, buddy. Need some water to wash out the CS?
No, it's fine now. It's my fault.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy. I'm out here on the south, right where we walked in. Yeah, walk south towards the big armored personnel carrier, the green one. All right.
Stay there and make sure you're okay. I can't find anything obvious.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Michael Fanone, everybody. He wants to be famous, make him famous. Real Ben Geller says, just so you know where we are, 2 NYPD detectives were refused medical attention on Saturday night and Sunday morning at NYU because the nurses and doctors thought they were ICE. Huge debacle in the emergency room, according to Ben Geller. Every single medical professional involved should have their license revoked. As a medical professional myself, this is an abomination. There must be accountability. They have all abandoned their Hippocratic oath. I agree 100%. Agree 100%. Button. Health care needs an urgent ENEMA. Wow. Shame on them. Holy crap, we need a full enema of malicious medical staff in America. Hey, real quick,
I'm off.
To the people who have been wondering, I know you may have been wondering for a while, is Elon Musk, is he an alien from the future?
When asked, are there aliens among us? And I'll say that I am one, but
or you're from the future.
They don't believe me.
Okay.
But I think if anyone would know if there are aliens among us, it would be me. We have 9,000 satellites up there, and not once have we had to maneuver around an alien spaceship. So I'm like, I don't know. Bottom line is, I think we need to assume that life and consciousness is extremely rare, and it might only be us. And if that's the case, then we need to do everything possible to ensure that the light of consciousness is not extinguished. I'm often asked, are there aliens among us?
There you go. Gavin Newsom running around Davos. More Toria Brooke drops here. You got to follow Toria Brooke. She does a nice job dropping 10 stories. Some of them are, I don't know. The ASAP Rocky one was okay. But I mean, the point of finding the right person at the right time, that's very thought-provoking. I'll take that. I'm going to kind of think about that the rest of the day, if not longer, actually. Right person, right time. I did tell you that story the other day about long time ago, a lifetime ago. I was asked by somebody, are we about to... And I looked at her and I had a deep breath and a... Another time, another place. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, would I? Yeah. Not with you, right? Not here, not now. No. But if our souls are connected, and a lot of people think that you have a soul circle, there's a question. That's a weird one. I would theoretically, maybe with the right producer and the right guest, like to do more esoteric shows and a little bit less of the politics and current events, but I'm fine doing them all. I do sports, I'll do esoteric, I'll do philosophical, I'll do religious, I'll do historical, I'll do science and tech and futurism, all those. But yeah, I just kind of wonder. The right place, the right time. Would you? But the question I would like to ask you, soul circles. There's a philosophical question. Soul circles. Some people believe that if we're connected in this life, we're connected in all the other experiences. If any of you missed it, by the way, I did have a conversation with Mike Barra. We talked about this, and he said something like, yeah, we must have known each other in previous lives, and if things were going sideways, he said something along the lines of, and you know, once again, forgive me if I paraphrase or I don't re-articulate something exactly. Never an intent to misinterpret or misstate. But sometimes I can't remember quotes. Sometimes I could quote to Ezekiel 25:17 word for word and barely blink. I can do the Scott Adams simultaneous sip without blinking. But yeah, something along the lines of, we must have known each other in previous lives, and you know, oh, things are falling apart. I need you to get Engelman on the phone. Get him over here. You know, it's like, if we're connected here, we must have been connected in other places. But yeah, soul circles. Do you believe in soul circles? That, like, you know, maybe you play a role here, maybe you barely know each other, maybe you're generally a fan of someone, mother, son, brother, sister, grandparent, child, teacher, employer, employee, coworker. If we've known each other in one capacity, when we expire from this, it's all going to get shuffled up, and then you're going to all have different experiences, so you can know what it feels like to sit in someone else's shoes, like Everlast sang about. God forbid you ever had to walk a mile in her shoes, because then you really might know what it's like to have to choose. And then you really might know what it's like. I'm tempted to grab my acoustic guitar and start playing. For the people in the room, type in the question of the day. Have you been a part of a TNAM Daily Show where I played the guitar? Yes or no? Yes, you've played the guitar before, or no, you play the guitar? Tell me in the comments. All right, Deb says, yep, we reincarnate in soul groups. Kenneth, my soul circle includes shoes. I mean, what? I got a crush on who? Deb. Yeah, it's so, you know, here's the other thought I had. It's just kind of weird. I lived all of my life until fairly recently having never met an Elon or an Ilhan. And now I can't go a single day without a story in the news about an Ilhan or an Elon. What the fuck is going on? Is that weird to anybody else? I don't know. Deb says Elon's an alien because we can't relate to him. I mean, there's a little bit of that. And by the way, that's awesome, David. He said your aunt was on that, was it Price is Right? Won the grandfather clock, a Ford convertible, and then the Showcase Showdown, but lost. That's awesome. Yeah, I won. I advanced to the final round. Well, I advanced to the second round, then I advanced to the final round. So I won, and then I won in the final round, but I didn't win the maximum. But based on the math and the cards, I don't think I had a chance to win. So I don't regret not going for it and risking it all. I think I made the right decision. Marion has not seen me play the guitar. Don't tempt me. Doggone it, I'm feeling tempted. It's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Everybody sucks. Here's Gavin Newsom desperately trying to stay relevant.
You're running around distributing knee pads to CEOs, and I think
I'm
it
not
does.
handing them out.
And it
Though
does.
I do have a few, if you'd like.
And
I don't know.
And honestly, it sounds.
By the way, I'm not kidding. They're the new Trump signature series knee pads. Yeah, and they are available online. I told you the last one sold out. And I just want to sort of. It's a serious moment. It actually. But we laugh. Anyway, these are available and in bulk too.
But I want to read you a couple of things the U.S. government. You're running around distributing knee pads to.
What a weirdo. Insider paper says breaking: President Donald Trump is suing J.P. Morgan Chase and CEO Jamie Dimon in a $5 billion lawsuit filed Thursday, accusing the financial institution of debanking him for political reasons. Good.
Several days ago.
Okay, this is about the storm. By the way, let me see if I can. I haven't played this in a while. I'm sort of forgetting the note. It's this one? Maybe it's this one. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I did remember it. Okay, eventually. I did just clip my nails, but I'm a little rusty. I do admit. Here, let's try it. There we go. What am I doing? What am I playing? Where is it? Is it there? Yeah, there we go. Something like that. It's that weird chord. Anyway. I'm going to play this later. I did just tune it the other day. What was I trying to play? Something in the orange. Luke Bryan? Something in the orange. Love that song. I like carrying it. I like karaokeing it. Too many thoughts at once. Okay, historic winter storm is targeting 200 million people across 35 states. The Northeast faces a heavy snow while dangerous ice threatens blah, blah. Just let's listen.
I told you a major winter storm was coming. Since then, the models have converged, the warnings have expanded, and even the National Weather Service is using the word historic. We now have over 200 million people in 35 states in the path of this storm. This thing's going to be 2,000 miles wide, and states like Texas and North Carolina are already declaring states of emergencies. And now even the Northeast is in play. Remember that north shift I talked about yesterday? It's holding. The I-95 corridor from D.C. to New York City is now in the significant snow zone. Some models are showing a foot or more from Virginia to Connecticut. If that holds, this is going to be the biggest snowstorm in a long time for this whole corridor. But the ice threat is still the main danger. From Texas through the Carolinas, there's going to be widespread half-inch to three-quarter-inch icing. And in some places, we're going to see more than an inch of ice accretion. That's tree snapping, power line destroying accumulation. And if you lose power on Saturday, it's possible that you're going to be without power. Several days ago, I told you a major winter storm was coming. Since then, or during some of the coldest temperatures we've seen in a long time. If you haven't finished your prep, today is your last day. Airlines are already waiving rebooking fees. If you're flying this weekend, change your plans now. If you're in the ice zone, assume you're going to lose power. Plan for all that and stay off the roads on Saturday especially. This is going to be the most significant winter storm in years, so like and follow for more updates as it develops. Or during.
I want you all to be careful. Okay, I think I remembered the chords now. Let's try one. Yeah, I am out of practice playing the guitar. That is for damn sure. something like that. You get the point. I started singing, and then you really might know what it's like. It's a great song. It really is. All right, let's go back to President Trump in Davos. Here he goes. President Trump.
What we did for Israel was amazing, but that's nothing compared to what we have planned for the United States, Canada, and the rest of the world. We are going to build a dome like no other. We did it for Israel. And by the way, I told Bibi, stop taking credit for the dome. That's our technology. That's our stuff. But they had a lot of courage, and they were good fighters, and they did a good job, and we wiped out the Iran nuclear threat like nobody can believe. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. That, Venezuela, taking down Soleimani. What we did for Israel was amazing, but that's nothing compared to what we have.
Yeah. Board of Peace is now formally ratified and established as an international organization. We got out of the World Health Organization. It just these old organizations were really just ripping off America, not benefiting America. We've been taken to the cleaners for a very long time, and we're setting up something new. And I, for one, I'm here for it. Works for me. Are they going to talk? They're just going to sign their papers. Kenneth, play the sound of silence, literally. Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys, drinking whiskey and rye, saying the Board of Peace will make sure I don't die.
Congratulations, President Trump. The
Board of Peace will make sure I don't die.
Charter is now in full force, and the Board of Peace is now an official international organization. We will now continue the signing ceremonies, beginning with the President of Argentina and the Prime Minister of Armenia.
All the way to Zimbabwe, from A to Z. Secretary Kristi Noem says Homeland Security investigators and FBI agents arrested Nakima Levy-Armstrong, who played a key role in orchestrating the church riots in St. Paul, Minnesota. She's being charged with a federal crime under 18 U.S. Code 241. Religious freedom is the bedrock of the United States. There is no First Amendment right to obstruct someone from practicing their religion. Ah, good. Having roots in this area, this is crazy. Watch this graphic footage showing the moments that a family is taken hostage. This is from up in Cleveland, where I'm from. Holy crap. When I say be prepared for things to go sideways that quick. Oh, it's so easy to go frame by frame and try to find fault with an ICE agent for shooting 3 times. He should have only shot once. I can't believe those other 2. He needs to go to jail. He needs to be on trial. No, he doesn't. Stop. It happened that quick. It's bang, 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 bang. It's over. And then so you're like, what? These people didn't think they needed to be prepared. And then bang, you needed to. Watch.
I've never quite seen anything like this. Take a look.
Are they speaking English? There's a mom and a kid and some lady. Let's see what's going on. And now here comes the criminal. He says, get in there. Go.
Go in the house.
Go in the house. Here come the cops. You know, to all you people who hate cops, come on. I don't want overreach. I don't want to be a slave. I don't want to be under the tyrannical boot of the deep state. But also, we need some fucking cops to take care of the dirtbags. We can't just handle everything with vigilante justice. And we can't just go, it's not a big deal. Nothing's a big deal. Why should I care about someone hijacking my house, taking hostages? Why should I care about 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, 40 million illegal alien invaders? It's not that important. I don't know. No big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal. And so now these people are running here to go inside with the hostage taker. And now they're like, what? Where do you want me to? Great instructions. Back up, back up, back up, back up. Kicks the door in. And instantly unloads his magazine. And these people are trying to go back in. Like, no, get out. So the lady that was kidnapped and the little geez, that little kid, the woman ran with it. I mean, I guess it was all happening at once. You just go how you can. Dude. The robber takes a family hostage. Police swiftly respond and shot the...
It is chilling, to say the least, and we're going to show it to you again. But to think about a mother and her 4 small children, and you can see she is stunned as the suspect runs up to her. She doesn't know what to do. John Johnson, according to the police, is the man who then pushes her into her own home and closes the door. You now have 2 children on the outside and 2 children on the inside, none of which were hurt. But again, take a look at the video because it is just astounding. I've never quite seen anything like this.
I'll play it one more time. I think this was it was an armored car robbery.
Take a look. I didn't hear any English there. I don't know what I'm listening to. Mama, shapa.
Go, one house.
And they just happened to see it happen. And I've got friends that would say, that was excessive shooting. He shouldn't have shot that many times. The first 6 were okay, but those final 2 were not. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, I don't want to be abused by the police state. Also, fuck this guy. Adios, delete, good night. You just took a family hostage at gunpoint? Bye-bye. No, I'm not pressing charges. No, we're not launching an investigation. Go home and get some counseling because it's going to fuck with you that you had to do that. And thank God you did. And stop just pissing and moaning, bitching and whining and complaining about police existing. Nobody wants to see abuse. But we do want to see bad guys get taken care of. But I swear, just the constant complainer crowd. He shouldn't have shot that many times. Renee, good. Oh, the first shot was okay, but the last 2, they were... You watch the footage he saw with the camera. She goes... He goes, he couldn't even finish groaning. Pop, pop, pop. The shots happen in the same groan. Well, no, he shouldn't have done that. Fuck you. There's a lot of leeway granted if something crazy like this happens.
It is chilling to say.
I mean, comments limited on this. Why are the comments limited? Don't limit comments. That's wild footage. And that is the gist of what I wanted to share with you on our Instagram feed. Let's bounce over to X over here. I know that. Is there something wrong with us because those are beautiful sounds of demonic influence being released back into the stratosphere? With great vengeance and furious anger, those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. Great vengeance and furious anger. Don't F around unless you want to F-O. All right, here we are on X. Make sure you're following us at American_media_. That dude was put on ice. Yep. Crazy. Man. Raise your kids right. Don't do this stupid shit. We are on X at American_media_. Please subscribe to us. You can check out our live show there. Reminder, Patreon, Rumble Rant, Super Chat. We do exist. Playing the guitar, literally playing the guitar with our guitar case open. If you like what you hear. Yeah, now I'm going to have to practice it. Actually, I don't even know what the chords. We've all seen the man at the liquor store begging for your change. The hair on his face is dirty, dreadlocked, and full of mange. Get a job, you fucking slobs, all he replied. Great song, great song, great song. But yes, we have Rumble Rants and Super Chats if anyone wants to throw something in the tip jar today. Follow us on X. We're at American_media_. Our Patreon link is right here. Just click it and say, I'm down to drop you $10 a month. I would appreciate that. And check out yesterday's show, Abolish ICE, the War Over America's Borders, discussed with guests Dan Johnson and Ford Fisher. All right, so breaking news, the Olympic fugitive, bum bum.
Sources telling Fox News that the DOJ has now arrested former Olympic snowboarder and FBI fugitive Ryan Wedding. Wedding was wanted by the FBI for running a transnational drug trafficking enterprise. He's from Canada, and he's also been accused of involvement in several murders. Wedding was added to the top 10 list for the FBI's most wanted back in March. So we'll wait for that from Kash Patel coming up momentarily.
Several murders. Yep, that is an FBI top 10 most wanted fugitive. Former Olympian Ryan Wedding, officially arrested. Global drug trafficking ring and multiple murders. Canada Cop Watch says he posted on Instagram 21 hours ago. Bad move. Former Canadian Olympian Ryan Wedding, 44 years old, once on the FBI's top 10 with a $15 million reward, has been arrested reportedly in Mexico. U.S. media, including NBC News, are reporting. Oh, so he made a post with a fancy car and a fancy watch? Haha. They took away my toy, but nobody can take away what I've learned. Gotcha. Blair White here says, hold on, you're telling me they can arrest a president, but they can't arrest Don Lemon? Okay. And Elon says, our judicial system is broken. I would tend to agree. Mays put this out here. Mays Moore. 1993. Here's Dianne Feinstein of the Democrat Party. She just passed away, right? Didn't she pass? She stepped down. Didn't she pass, though? I think so. Let's take a listen to her.
Should you have a system where people can come to this country, even if they're well-to-do, get on Medicaid and give birth to a baby and then go back? The answer is no. And we know that Medicaid laws are being used and abused to do just this in the state of California.
Dianne Feinstein used to make sense. What in hell has happened to her?
I'd like to see that stopped. About 13% of the California prison population, costing close to $300 million a year, are illegal aliens. I've had judges in Los Angeles and Orange County tell me 1/2 of their criminal dockets are illegal aliens. Presently, a convicted illegal alien has the option of serving their sentence in California or being returned to their country of origin. I think that option ought to be removed. Should you have a system where people can come to this country, even if they're well-to-do, get on Medicaid?
There you go. Hey, special thanks, Kenneth. Appreciate you, sir. $10 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Much obliged. Tip of the cap to you. Can you please play? I gave my love a chicken. It had no bone. I can sing it. I can't play it. But I'll see if I can think of it. And I'm not going to smash that guitar, but thank you for that. Dianne Feinstein. That's from 1993. All right, allegedly video coming out. Despite an internet blackout and major delays, new videos emerging from Iran. I run so far away. Footage shows a massive rally at Tehran's Chitgar Park, Jan 18. Thousands of vehicles flashing lights as the crowds chant, "Woman, life, freedom." Hopefully, I will be able to set up the Iran show this weekend, if all goes well. I want to do a deep dive with, well, I'll announce my guests when I can confirm the dates. Let me see what I can do. What is this? Monique Worrell defends her choice to let Jihad, the guy's name is Jihad. That means war, waging war. Monique Worrell defends her choice to let Jihad Bojay walk free for insanity, which then resulted in the deaths of 3 people. What? Juanita Broderick says this horrible judge tried to shift blame off of herself. It won't work. Those 3 lives were lost because of you, Monique Worrell, and only you.
Researched into this case since the latest event has taken place, and what I found is that that individual was sentenced to conditional release, and that conditional release was that he would continue treatment with an outpatient community partner.
Oh, you mean you trusted him?
My understanding is that that treatment was originally costing $7 a month, and that after a period of time, that $7 a month bill went up to $150+ a month, and that the individual was no longer in compliance with his treatment because of inability to pay for that treatment. And now here we are.
Oh, yeah, and then here we are. No, you don't trust criminals to take care of themselves. What was his prior crime? Was it a violent crime?
With individuals who need mental health treatment and don't have access to that treatment.
Don't have access to that treatment. That's why you keep them in a cage so they don't kill other people.
Bad things happen, and that's what we're dealing with.
Oh my gosh.
I want to be very delicate in how
you try to protect your image.
I talk about this, because we can never overlook the fact
that you let him out when you should have kept him in a cage. You monster.
That 3 people are dead. 3
because of you.
Families are grieving.
Because of you.
And this is not an opportunity for political discussions.
The fuck it's not. You and your failed bullshit leftist wet noodle pro-criminal garbage failed to keep a monster in his cage, and it resulted in the loss of 3 lives. Had you kept him in a cage, it wouldn't have happened. This isn't about all that other shit. It's about you letting dirtbags out. Stop letting dirtbags out. You know where you get treatment? In a cage forever. Grok isn't working. I'm trying to get the backstory. Grok is out. Is it out for you? I'll try another time. Or I'll try again. Sorry about that. Something didn't go as planned. Please try again. If you're still seeing this message, go ahead and restart the app. I have restarted the app. Working yet? Question mark. Sorry about that. Something didn't go right. And I can't submit what can Grok do better. I said Grok broken. Something went wrong. Please try again later. Okay. But just be ready, people. If the internet doesn't work this weekend, if the heat goes out, if the power goes out, if you can't drive on the roads, have a plan. Have a plan, have a plan, have a plan, have a plan, have a plan. Yeah. Another Medicaid scandal in Maine, according to Steve Robinson. Maine paid out $45.6 million in 1 year to improper payments for the same autism scam that Somalis abused in Minnesota. Governor Janet Mills is either incompetent or she's in on it. Keep your eyes peeled for Maine. Someone posted this and says the cognitive dissonance it takes to complain about carrying a vaccine card during a pandemic, but be okay with having to carry proof of citizenship. Redheaded libertarian. Yeah, because giving your 6-year-old myocarditis to go to the movies is the same thing as carrying your passport. Mike Lee says the SAVE Act would require you to prove U.S. citizenship only when registering to vote. Not all the time. The law already requires you to prove citizenship when you start a new job. Does she complain about that too? Benny Johnson says these numbers are indisputable. Council on Criminal Justice and on select cities, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, that's a lot of words. Homicides down in 2025, 24. Well, here, let's just watch the clip.
In terms of violent crime and overdoses, you got homicides are down 21% from 2024. Carjackings down 43%. And overdoses from 2024 down 20%. I mean, these numbers are indisputable, and it's happening in the places where it's worse, and that is major cities.
Yeah, the largest one-year drop on record. Well, what happened in 2025? We had a new administration come in office. They really cracked down on crime. Let's give you some examples. In Baltimore, they had the highest homicide numbers before COVID, and they had a decrease of 60% last year in 2025. That is a record low for Baltimore. Salt Lake City, Chattanooga, and El Paso, all with populations under 1 million, each saw their homicide rates, murder rates, cut roughly in half between 2019 and 2025. So this is a think tank. It's called the Council on Criminal Justice. And they went across, or they looked at 40 different cities and noticed that they're seeing statistics dropping. Overall, murder rates have dropped more than 20%.
Thank you, President Trump. It was completely lawless for 4 years. We lived through an absolute fucking nightmare when Obama's puppet Joe Biden seized control of the nation. Lord, please, if they are in fact guilty of the grand conspiracy, go get them. Let's get them. Let's indict them already. I am so sick of waiting. We got to put our boat on the right path if we're just going with the wind. Kenneth Wright to point out, Grok is out. Thanks, Obama. A callback to. I don't even know if I can. I feel like I've tried to find that video to you before. Maybe here. Let me see if I can play it. Let's see if I can even find it. Oh, you know what? It got so popular. this whole joke got so popular that this happened. Let me full screen this. You recognize this guy? Oh, hold on. Where's the volume?
Thanks, Obama. Thanks, Obama.
His cookie doesn't fit in the milk. Thanks, Obama. It's so good. Here, let's show a clip of this. Since we're having a good time.
Ever since Obama has been reelected president, this whole country has gone to shit. Let me show you what I mean and how bad it is. This perfume smells like dick. Thanks, Obama. My
This perfume smells like dick. This is so funny. It's so funny. It continues. There is music in the background, though. I don't want to.
dog took a giant shit on the carpet. Thanks, Obama. Thanks, Obama. There's too much trash here, and I only have 2 hands. Thanks, Obama.
We often on the show talk about thanks the Jews. The Jews did everything. The Jews are what's wrong with everything. Thanks the Jews. It is the ultimate. Thanks, Obama. The dog took a giant shit on my carpet. Thanks, Obama.
Just got my period again. Thanks, Obama. This
Just got my. I don't know if she does it. I just got my period again. Thanks, Obama. And then another one, like in a rewrite, I would say, well, now do a few others and then come back with, missed my period. Now I missed my period. Thanks, Obama. Yelling at him for getting your period or missing your period would be funny.
book sucks. Thanks, Obama.
This book sucks.
Porno isn't even any good. Thanks, Obama. SPF 30? That's racist. I need at least SPF 50. Thanks, Obama. What the?
SPF is racist. But I mean, this did sum up. This is so good. But it's not even uploaded by her. I feel like her account took it down. I don't know why they took it down. I feel like I need to download this just to...
Obama. What the fuck is in my sink? Thanks, Obama. No
What even is that?
Patriots in the Super Bowl. Thanks, Obama. Time travel. Still not an option. Thanks, Obama.
This goes on for minutes, but you get the point. I think it's so good. I just bit my lip. Thanks, Obama. Here, let me just keep it there, and I'll bounce back to it. I want to finish our news stories. Yeah, we'll end on a little bit of Jenna Marbles. Thanks, Obama, to wrap it up here. How about that? Dan Bongino says, thanks to President Trump's, Dan Bongino shared FBI Director Kash Patel's post. Thanks to President Trump's leadership and commitment to global law enforcement. 6th top 10 most wanted fugitive within the last year. So 6 of the top 10 are now gone. Good. Yeah, Ryan James' wedding. I mean, that's something. Hiding in Mexico for more than a decade. Cocaine trafficking and murder charges since 24. Transnational trafficking operation, routinely shipping hundreds of kilos of coke from Colombia through Mexico and Southern California to the U.S. and Canada. Sinaloa cartel member. The operation is a result of the... And by the way, this is just for the Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi aren't doing anything crowd. If we're going to complain, which we are allowed to, let's also show some appreciation when it's necessary, when warranted. Partners in Mexico, President Sheinbaum. All right. 6 of the top 10 captured now. Fugitives on the run for 40 years combined. That's no accident. Trump is letting good cops be cops, and the results speak for themselves. Also comes on the heels of the FBI recently increasing our reward for the 10 most wanted to $1 million. reflecting that we're more committed than ever to this program and what it accomplishes for delivering justice. Huge day for a safer North America and the world. And a message that those who break our laws and harm our citizens will be brought to justice. Heck yeah. Awesome. Corey DeAngelis posts that the former superintendent of Iowa's largest school district pleads guilty to falsely claiming to be a U.S. citizen after an ICE arrest. Illegally possessing a firearm, made $305,000 in 24. Lied about being a doctor. The worst rise to the top in the government school system. Good God. Elon Musk calling on Senator Chuck Grassley to nuke the blue slip tradition, which is letting Democrat senators unilaterally block President Trump's judicial and U.S. attorney nominees. He's right. Get it done, Senator Grassley, says Eric Daughtry. What say you?
For the Senate.
Well, I think they should get rid of blue slips because as a Republican president, I am unable to put anybody in office having to do with U.S. attorneys or having to do with judges. In other words, if you have one, not two, you don't need two, just one. If you have one Democrat senator, where we have a lot of them, you have one Democrat senator in a state, it is not possible to appoint, because of blue slips, a judge. It's not possible to appoint a U.S. attorney. You see that happening. And I think it's a disgrace. I think blue slips are a disgrace. They've long since, they should not be relevant anymore. This is a different world than it was 15, 20 years ago. You know, that was a gentleman and gentlewoman world. This is a little bit different, unfortunately. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, what do you... For the Senate.
Well, I think they should get rid of blue slips because as a Republican president, I am unable to put anybody in office having to do with...
Yeah, it's nuts. Fix it. It's been a year. This is crazy. All right, let's talk about the ICE scam. I believe Dan brought this up yesterday. If he didn't, my apologies to Dan. I really do not ever intend to intentionally deceive or misrepresent other people's words. But I believe he brought this up, and I believe I said, huh? That's a hoax, right? Isn't that a proven hoax? Why would you even say something about that? Well, see, they're not going after the worst of the worst. They went after a 5-year-old. That's unacceptable, right? I go, huh? That's a hoax, right? I asked, well, why are the blue cities not handing over their on the ICE detainers? Why aren't the blue cities? Why are they prohibited from handing over the illegal alien criminals to ICE to kick them the hell out of our country? Well, that's not happening. That is happening. Like, what are you even watching? How do you even get these opinions that are so incorrect? I think they're incorrect. If I'm incorrect, tell me. But this story's been everywhere. ICE agents take a 5-year-old boy. They're not going after the worst of the worst. They shouldn't come after people here if they're not causing any problems. Yeah, everyone who broke in needs to leave and reapply. Go to the front of the door. Show your ID again. Start the process. And if you have a clean criminal background and you raise your hand and say, hey, can I get an identification card? Can you run a background check on me? There should be some sort of process for that. I agree. And if there's not, then I believe that could be something that could be improved upon. But no, you don't stop and just let everyone run around. But the 5-year-old boy story. Let's take a listen to this story. This is our assistant. Well, here, let's let her talk from the Department of Homeland Security.
And this is a horrific smear that we're seeing the mainstream media and politicians on the left, including Kamala Harris, take and run with. The facts are actually that this little boy was abandoned by his own father. His own father was being approached by ICE agents when he ran and abandoned the child. Our law enforcement, in these frigid temperatures, stayed with the child, tried to bring him into custody with the mother, who actually would not take the child into custody, which is so sad, so horrific. Our law enforcement officers actually were taking care of the child, brought him to McDonald's, were playing his favorite music to really calm him down. This is, as Mark, there's major riots forming around our law enforcement officers. That is horrendous that the child is having to face this, but our law enforcement officers were taking care of him, and he's now reunited with his father in a federal processing facility. And this is a
it just fake news said he was detained by ICE. He was abandoned by the dad and then saved by ICE. Good grief. Wedding has now been flown. The Olympian, former Olympian, flown to the U.S. where he's going to face justice. Good. You want to hear how the liars tell about this story? ABC facing a potential defamation lawsuit over David Muir going on last night, spreading a lie to millions that ICE agents used a child as bait to capture his father, when in reality, the father abandoned his child. Every agent involved needs to sue.
The images of a 5-year-old boy returning home from preschool.
Ah, we should abolish ICE then. There's a little boy. Don't you like little boys?
Detained by ICE.
Oh my gosh, ICE are the worst. They're literal Gestapo.
Agents taking the boy and his father into custody. Vice President J.D. Vance in Minneapolis today defending ICE agents, claiming they were protecting the child, saying, what are they supposed to do? Matt Rivers in Minneapolis again tonight.
Uh-huh.
Tonight, the haunting images.
Oh, it's haunting. That dad was an illegal alien subjecting his kid to this stuff. He was detained and left the kid behind. No, you're supposed to let a 5-year-old wander around the streets, I guess.
Sparking a firestorm. A preschool boy.
Oh, it's such a firestorm.
Boy standing in the Minnesota cold, swept up in the ICE crackdown.
Wow, I guess we need to disband ICE. No more laws.
School officials say 5-year-old Liam, wearing his blue hat and backpack, and his father, Adrian Alexander Conejo Arias.
Okay, that's 4 names. Anyone with 4+ names is instantly suspect.
Had just pulled into their suburban Minneapolis driveway Tuesday when agents took that father into custody. The school then saying an agent essentially used the 5-year-old as bait, directing him to see if anyone else was home before taking the boy away. The district saying Liam is among 4 students recently detained.
The sense of safety in our community and around our schools is shaken.
Shaken by all the illegal aliens there, or by removing the illegal alien invaders? You're shaken because the law is now being enforced?
The district saying Liam is among 4 students recently detained.
Don't you want your kids to be safe? Don't you want to know the people in this country, to know that they're not carrying a massive rap sheet of criminality?
The sense of safety in our community and around our schools is shaken, and our hearts are shattered. And honestly, at the end of the day, children should be in school with their classmates.
But DHS telling a different story, saying ICE did not target a child, claiming Liam's father is an undocumented immigrant,
illegal alien invader,
and fled on foot,
impeding an investigation,
abandoning his son in the driveway.
Pretty shitty.
Tonight, during a visit here in Minneapolis, Vice President J.D. Vance saying the agents were protecting the child.
What are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death?
But the district says multiple people on scene did offer to take the child, but were refused. Vance broadly praising the work of federal agents, saying the vast majority are doing excellent work. But for the first time tonight, the administration telling me they are willing to discipline ICE officers, quote, when justified.
Somebody did something wrong.
Oh, yeah, breaking news. Yeah, Marion, that lady, the school lady, looks like her name is Karen. So many of the school ladies do. I like they come off a conveyor belt.
Yes, they're going to face disciplinary action, but we're not going to judge them in the court of public opinion.
Vance saying he's trying to ease soaring tensions amid furious protests.
I'm in the gas. Get back. Gas is coming.
Border Patrol Commander-at-Large Greg Bavino tossing a smoke grenade into an unruly crowd. Agents pinning this person to the ground, this stunning image of the pepper spray at close range.
Stunning. I'm so stunned. What do you expect?
And David, tonight, the chilling image of that little...
Chilling. I love these little weasel words. The little way they try to slang. Like, you're being so manipulated. But look, there's a kid. Don't you love kids? Don't you hate ICE, therefore? Such a false choice.
Boy standing out in the cold, striking a chord with so many here. The family's lawyer saying the boy's father did come to this country legally. And David, tonight we've learned that both father and...
I'm sorry, came to the country what?
Legally. And David, tonight we've...
Legally?
Boy's father did come to this country legally. And David, tonight we've learned that both father and son are being held together at a processing facility near San Antonio.
David. Matt Rivers in Minneapolis. Matt, thank you.
So they're legal? Yeah, I'm all in favor of finding ways to prevent any legal person from being wrapped up in this. Yes, I am in complete agreement with anyone who wants to reduce the number of times that happens. Yep, I would like to see 0 times that happens. But yeah, David, the people that are here illegally have had more than a year to leave for free without incident. Why did he run if he was legally here? Leaving your kid behind. Once again, 72 hours on a story before anyone gets their panties in a twist. Why don't you examine what the story is, right? Nobody knows much of anything. Now, here's one of the most interesting stories I've found. Blue Lives Matter put this post out. Check this out. This might be, it's kind of great. You know what? I got a plan. I'm going to finish on this story and then go back to Thanks, Obama. So let me just buzz through the rest of the stories that I had. Anna Paulina Luna. Yeah, I'm gonna work my way back there. Anna Paulina Luna says that upon returning to D.C., if the Senate does not pass the SAVE Act, I am in full favor of shutting the floor down by any means possible. I'm not going to play games, especially being that half the Republicans in both the House and Senate are concerned about their reelection, and I'm definitely not going to let them use President Trump's agenda as a shield to hide their spineless tendencies. Election integrity is an important thing for the future of our nation. I agree. Mario Knopfel says President Trump spoke 2.5 million words in 13,400 minutes last year. Equivalent to reading the first Harry Potter book 33 times straight, or War and Peace 4 times. He averaged 1.4 transcripts per day and took press questions at 74% of events. The breakdown is pretty insane. 165 press sprays, 15 press conferences, 108 transcripts just from travel. Maine One, Air Force One, and tarmacs. One single transcript hit 38,593 words and spanned 113 pages, the longest in either Trump administration on record. He also traveled to 18 countries, 22 states, 83 cities while doing all this while talking. The White House says that he's the most accessible president in history, and honestly, these numbers back it up. I would just add, compare that to Biden. Asleep at the switch. Mike Benz here says that Senator Tim Kaine, that Tim Kaine, Hillary Clinton's running mate in 2016, is right now, as we speak, on the board of the directors at National Endowment for Democracy. NED, NED. Mike Benz says what could go, what happened? I hate when you're clicking on something, but it jumps to another frame. I wish it would not do that. Mike Ben says, what could go wrong with Republicans giving Victoria Nuland's private CIA $315 million right after she ran the CIA branch of the State Department under Joe Biden? Ned welcomes Victoria Nuland to the board of directors. Holy shit. This Ned sounds like a festering pile of vomit. Oh, you better run from Ned. I guess I'm not up to snuff on Ned, am I?
On the day of JFK's inauguration, 48% of all State Department, quote, employees in the political section were not actually State Department employees at all. They were CIA under diplomatic cover. While they were parked at a U.S. embassy, they did not answer in the chain of command within the State Department. They were covert operatives for organized political warfare being carried out by the CIA, but because they dominated the political section of the State Department, they could set their own political policy for the country. If the State Department did not want to overthrow that regime, but the CIA did, then the CIA could simply use the bandwidth of the political section of the embassy to make contact with the various dissident groups, to run money to them, to help them logistically, to connect them, and run a parallel operation without it observing the typical White House National Security Council chain of command. And he gave examples where he said in some embassies, 80% of the political affairs staff are CIA, not even State Department at all. In fact, who was Joe Biden's CIA director? Bill Burns. What was Bill Burns before he became head of the CIA?
A buddy of Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, yes. In the 1990s, Bill Burns was the head of the political section for the U.S. Embassy in Russia. Bill Burns, we're told, never worked a day at the CIA in his whole life before he was handed the reins to be the CIA director. Right? He was a State Department guy the whole time. But where was he at State? He was the head of the political affairs section.
All right. I don't know. Mike Benz is a pretty interesting follow. You should watch him. And yeah, Marion, why did he run if he was legally here? People are terrified. They're being abused. The community is being abused. Why hasn't everybody raised their hand and checked in yet? For a year, you've been illegally in the movie theater without a ticket. What? We don't want you here illegally. So do the CBP home app. Don't want to chase anyone. Don't want any problems. Don't want you here illegally either. Anyway. Yeah, remember Victoria Nuland. Before making her deal with the devil and after. You want to figure out why we're in a war with Ukraine and Russia right now? Look at Victoria Nuland. Obama, Biden. Uh-huh. Look at that lady on the right. Don't let that succubus over there on the left deceive you. It's that lady on the right. Homeland Security says no, ICE did not target a child. The child was abandoned. ICE agents approached the driver, Adrian Alexander Conejo Arias, who fled on foot, abandoning the child. And for the child's safety, an ICE officer remained with the kid. BBC says ICE detains 5-year-old during Minnesota operation. What a fucked up headline. And I can't believe Dan used that as evidence that whatever to make his point yesterday. Nick Shirley testified in front of Congress and only 2 Democrat congressmen showed up to the hearing. Not one question directed toward me from the Democrats about the fraud. Weird. I wonder why. If congressmen don't show up to their hearings, they aren't representing their constituents. What the F are we paying for? Matt Van Swole is beyond angry. He's disgusted. He watched hundreds of people flood the streets here in Asheville, North Carolina, protesting ICE very loudly. Very organized, signs in hand, chanting F ICE. Man, dorks. Yet 6 days ago, Fletcher Harris and Skylar Provenzo were K'd by an illegal alien in North Carolina with a previous DUI and a suspended driver's license. But you want to lecture me about compassion, about justice and humanity? Don't you get it? If someone had reported Juan Aguilar to ICE to be deported, they would still be alive today. Juan Aguilar did not deserve to be in our country. But Skylar's parents, Fletcher's parents, they deserve their kids to be alive today. No matter how much you scream, no matter how much you protest, it will never change the fact that illegal aliens came here illegally and they do not get to stay here, no matter what fucking sob stories exist in the world. They don't deserve to be here. And every crime they commit is a crime that could have never happened if only we had the moral fortitude to admit that some people do not deserve to be here. It's time to send them all back home. Every single one. Doesn't matter if they never committed a single crime while staying here. Doesn't matter if they've been productive. Doesn't matter if they've been model employees. I don't give a damn. Because you see, I am America first, which means I am Skylar and Fletcher first. I am me. I am my family first. And that means all of you who came here illegally have to go home now. Your time is up. You don't have the right to be here. You never did. And my compassion, says Matt Van Swole, your stories does not extend further than my compassion for the lives of Skylar and Fletcher and the thousands of innocent victims of crimes that could have never occurred had we not allowed millions of illegal aliens into our country. It's time. You all have to go home now. Man, that got me fired up. Kenneth, I found a hair in my soup. Thanks, Obama. Exactly. My coffee went cold. Thanks, Obama. Greg Kelly says, busted. This is the moment where Jack Smith reveals he's never had a case against Trump.
Requirement, yes. And didn't you also acknowledge in your deposition that the president was receiving information from multiple advisors, Giuliani, Eastman, Clark, Powell, and in your deposition, you said he was almost just regurgitating what they told him. Isn't that right?
I don't believe I said he was regurgitating what they told him. I think what I said is that he was making knowingly false claims, that he was believing anything that would keep him in office, and he was rejecting.
Right there! Busted!
Isn't that right?
I don't believe I said he was regurgitating what they told him. I think what I said is that he was making knowingly false claims, that he was believing anything that would keep him in office.
He was believing.
He was believing. You can't believe and make false statements at the same time. You could believe.
That's been the ongoing crux of this. These idiot rhinos who sided with the dirty deep state Democrats to frame President Trump. Oh, he didn't believe he won the election. Everybody believed he won the election. You know how many Democrats I talked to and they went, yeah, we know Biden didn't win, but people are just so sick of Trump, they're just going to let it happen. Over and over and over again, that sentiment. Not to say nobody believed, but come on. We saw what happened. President Trump certainly didn't believe he legitimately lost that. And nobody in their right mind could pretend or could actually convince me they believed that President Trump believed he lost the election, but he was going to mess around. He was going to FA to find out if he could find a way to stay president, even though he knows he lost. No, he didn't. I not for a single moment doubted Baker Mayfield's ability to lead a team to success. Never have I doubted that President Trump clearly won 2020 in a landslide. What am I going to say? Tell me what I'm going to say. For countervailing views on health and elections, go to cdc.gov, who.int, and cisa.gov/rumor control for countervailing views, because they'll say 2020 was the only free and fair election in the history of free and fair elections.
Believe whatever he wanted. And a lot of us believe he was right.
He never had a case, and he knew it. Prosecute this man.
Yeah, I'm in. Homeland Security calls on Governor Tim Walz and Mayor Frey to turn this child predator over to ICE so this criminal can never prey on innocent American children. It's exactly what we've been saying. We need state and local law enforcement engagement and information so we don't have to have such presence on the streets. Yeah, they are actively going out of their way to not cooperate. And Dan didn't seem to know that yesterday. And I said, well, color me surprised, because I thought this was known to everybody. Is it not obviously true that they're not turning over the criminal aliens like it says so in their charters of their sanctuary cities? An criminal migrant who said ICE is on the loose, the one they're supposedly looking for when they burst into the house of the frail guy in his shorts, was in jail the entire time, it turns out. And he's not being turned over. There's no communication. Brian Cates says, watch what happens when Walz and Frey refuse to turn him over to ICE. I mean, you do know at this point that they're going to refuse to do that, right? We'll see. If we work together, we can make America safe again. I doubt they're going to do it. What a weird attempt to frame ICE as controversial. It's not. CNN tried, though.
Look, ICE raids, controversial. Look, ICE raids, controversial. Always have been, always will be.
Not really.
I think the
when Obama was doing it, wasn't controversial.
Oh, it certainly
you guys did ride-alongs.
Yes, I did. Look,
they were doing ride-alongs with Obama. It wasn't controversial.
ICE raids, controversial. Always have been, always will be.
Not really.
I think.
Not really. I agree.
When Obama was doing it, wasn't controversial. You guys did ride-alongs.
Yes, I did.
Look.
This guy's okay. He's not as effective as Scott Jennings. He gets talked over by these clowns a little bit more often. Ben Ferguson. What is this? An ongoing war between the people and the regime of Iran. The regime has massacred them in total darkness, carrying out even more brutality by shooting people in hospitals under the direct order of Khomeini. They anticipate at least 20,000 people gone, if not more. That's not good. Exiled Iranian Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. That sounds really bad. All right. We will end it on this story and then a little bit more thanks Obama to wrap it up. Blue Lives Matter, maybe one of the more interesting stories. They put this out. Yeah. CNN might as well be a Trump derangement syndrome network. Blue Lives Matter says, we're not saying that Blue Lives Matter was behind feeding false information to far-left anti-ICE protesters. We're not saying we had teams comprised of hundreds of off-duty cops and veterans volunteering to run decoy operations so far-left activists thought they were conducting ICE raids. We're not saying they were, in fact, just driving around in what appeared to be unmarked vehicles with tinted windows, drinking coffee and listening to Guns N' Roses, being chased down and surrounded by protesters. What we are saying is that if it did happen, it sure worked remarkably well in 9 different states, allowing actual raids to successfully take place unimpeded, helping support the capture of hundreds of criminals. Combat veterans, off-duty officers, and patriotic Americans have had enough of the radical left and are being activated across the country to back our law enforcement. And they're smarter, more skilled, more driven, better trained than the left. And they actually enjoy sitting in a deer stand for days on end, just waiting. DHS Gov, at ICE Gov, we've got you. Say Blue Lives Matter. That's kind of awesome. I sort of love that. One of my favorite stories of the day. And now for your moment of Zen, we'll go back to Jenna Marbles as we wrap up today's program.
Sandwich tastes exactly the same as the inside of my asshole. Thanks, Obama.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Almost Valentine's Day. Thanks, Obama.
It is almost Valentine's Day. Thanks, Obama.
Obama. Thanks, Obama. No,
my slinky didn't work.
Nobody even liked my Facebook status. Thanks, Obama.
I blame Obama for nobody liking my status. I do say that from time to time, though. I'm like, I've been shadow banned into oblivion. Thanks, Obama. That shit's legitimate. They've been targeting and coming after our accounts for a long time. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of it.
Condom broke again. Thanks, Obama. My
Uh-oh.
kid punched another kid in the face at school today. Thanks, Obama.
Gotta blame the kid punching the kid.
You know what? I'm probably gonna die someday. Thanks, Obama.
These skits are hilarious. You know what? I'm probably gonna die someday. Thanks, Obama. I know she's making fun of the right in this, but...
Hunger Games? More like, thanks, Obama. My boyfriend... Obama. My boyfriend keeps trying to put his dick in my butt. Thanks, Obama.
God. No big mic jokes. No big mic jokes. No big mic jokes. How does she know? How would she know?
Rap music. Thanks, Obama.
Oh, what was that one?
Obama. Rap music. Thanks, Obama.
Just the general term of rap music existing.
Thanks, Obama.
That's stupid noise everywhere. Blame it on Obama.
Justin Bieber, still not following me on Twitter. Thanks, Obama. God, my arms are so sore. Thanks, Michelle Obama.
Well, she brought Big Mike into this, not me.
Thanks, Obama. Thanks, Obama.
This message was brought to you by the Teletubbies.
There it is, your moment of Zen. Let's blame everything on Obama. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here on the TNAM Daily Show. Oh, boy. I hope we had a good time today. We covered a lot of stories. We did a lot of rumination and pontificating about yesterday's episode. So if you haven't watched it, go back and watch yesterday's episode. I'm trying real hard, Ringo. Trying real hard, Ringo. Trying to make sense of what's happening. That ICE show yesterday. Please watch it if you haven't. Please leave your comments. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, share the show with a friend. We're on Patreon. Subscribe to us there. Rumble and YouTube. You can do a monthly subscription for like $5 a month. Patreon is like $10. It's like $5 a post. We post twice a month. At some point, we'll probably do some more exclusive content. But for now, we're just cranking things out, putting millions of hours out there of content. My girlfriend and I are living in sin. Thanks, Obama. The way she says, thanks, Obama. It is funny. It's one of my favorite clips. I dropped my soap in the gym. Thanks, Obama. Yeah, it's like she got really popular for it, but I don't know if she got shamed by the left and she deleted it. It's hilarious. Where is she today? Grok isn't working, but let me ask Grok one more time. Where is Jenna Marbles today? Oh, is Grok working? Jenna Nicole Maui, former YouTube star, stepped away from content creation in 2020 as being very private. Los Angeles, Sherman Oaks. Oh, God, they got a $4 million house. Her last video, June of 2020, she later deleted amid apologies for past content. She wants to be private, no plans for a comeback. Fans largely respect that, though many still miss her humor and content. Huh. Yeah, she was funny. And I like laughter. And I like a safe and secure America. Go Greenland, go ICE. And yeah, if we have particular critiques and complaints, let's find a way to make everything better. If all you're going to do is yap and complain and you're not going to tell us what's a better option, realistically, a better option. You could tell us all sorts of things, but if they're not realistically viable options, then what are we even talking about, you know? So thank you so much. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday. I'm having maybe it's Sunday. I'm having a hard time tracking down my Iran show. I'm trying to coordinate two guests at the same time. It's challenging. Maybe it'll be tomorrow. Maybe it'll be Sunday. Maybe it'll be another day. But I do want to do a deep dive on Persia, and discuss it because it's super important. And I don't know enough about it. I want to ask some questions and I want to listen to some people who do know about it. So, once again, Rumble Rant, Super Chats, all of these direct donations at the bottom, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all appreciated. Hit subscribe on all of the platforms that we exist. And please feel free to go back and watch some of our best of content. I think we put a lot of good stuff out there over the years, and entertaining, informative, educational, all of those things. Thank you, everybody in chat. I appreciate you. I love you. And we will talk again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.